Your ear on my head, hear the song I sing. Listen close to my words. there. Hang on. Yeah. There. Something else in my ear. Anyway. Hey, everyone. Oh, let's see who. It was Amerson first. Wither managed to get in there. Hey, Doc. Hey, Mr. Sir. Hey, Karina. Hey, Kaiser. Yes, and again, congratulations on your case being dismissed. Somebody asked a question. I saw that. Mr. Sir, the difference between an anarchist and an ANCOM. An anarchist doesn't necessarily believe in collectivization. A lot do. So, some don't. So the big difference isn't between an anarchist and an ANCOM. The big difference is between an ANCOM and a communist. Hey, introspective penguin. But you asked what the difference between, let me unplug that, an anarchist and an ANCOM. Well, egoists, sternerists, individualists, all of these are types of anarchist, and they wouldn't be along for the ride with a collectivization such as communism, or at least specific types of communism. So, yes, Bad Birdie, ANCOM equals anarcho-communist, which many anarchists would fall under. The big difference is between an ANCOM and a COM. So an anarcho-communist and a communist, the giant gaping chasm there is that the communists are perfectly happy using the state as a stopgap intermediary step and establishing a dictatorship of the proletariat, whereas anarchists, specifically ANCOMs, would say, no, that's not how we go about implementing this, and it's doomed to fail if you go about those methodologies. MLs are Marxist-Leninists, Yoo-hoo Zippy. So, Mr. Sir, I hope that somewhat clears it up for you, and if it doesn't, feel free to continue asking. Either way, it's been a weird day. I'm kind of emotionally in a weird place. Yeah. Yes, MLMs in the political context are Marxist-Leninist Maoists. That's fine, Kaiser. Hey, Skeptic. Quite welcome, Zippy. I don't know, a couple of things. I think I've decided, I'll rock on, Skeptic. Yeah, well, I mean, not necessarily, but again, remember Emma Goldman. It isn't a monolithic philosophy, it's a network of ideas, and we much prefer it that way. Always remember Emma. So, those sorts of like singular declarative statements about the nature of X, Y, or Z, especially when talking about anarchism, are very difficult to make. So keep that in mind. Love her. Ever read Socialism Schism about the feud between Bakunin and Marx? No, I haven't. But I've read enough of their own. Like, I've read enough of each of their takes I don't think I need someone else to really give me their like insight into it. But hey, Estrella. Nice. Yeah, oh yeah, Bakunin was correct. I'm sorry. Marx's economic critiques are spot on, but his path forward, his methodologies are, well, look at what they created. So I think I decided I'm going to move my folks into my house. The deciding factor was my mom sent me a text today saying that she is, she's got a, dude, my stepdad drives me insane. This is not going to be fun. But she's having to have a full knee replacement. The nerve stimulator implanted device thing that they put in her a bunch of years back that had a battery pack leak in it that caused a bunch of fucking nerve damage. One time when she was out walking, she had like literally the nerve acted up. It caused a whole bunch of pain. She tripped on a curb as a result and tore a bunch of shit in her knee, and it's been getting worse and worse and worse ever since. Fucked up her shoulder too. And she saw an orthopedic specialist today that is in the Las Vegas Valley who specializes. He's top notch. He really is. He handles a lot of stuff for sports teams. He gave her a couple of options, but he said at the end of the day, you probably need a full knee. So on the 26th of this month, they're gonna go in, fucking slice her leg open, chop it out, and go from there. Hey, GHXST2331. How about you recognize that calls to violence are TOS and you're lucky you weren't banned outright? Right? Like, that's the thing. You're risking the channel and you're risking your account. Like, you're just fucking stuff up for everybody else making calls to violence. And it slid the first couple of times. Threats, harm, endangerment, calls to violence, threats to society. Submit. Close. Have a good one, GHXST. I don't like to have to ban people, but, you know, fuck off. Yes, Cat. Typical night show. All right. And the guy who smoked a joint with Grover Cleveland's great grandson. Yes, it's the same guy, but he's not cool. He's a pain in the ass. Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, also, don't be a dumb fuck. So yeah, Cat, jump on the air. I want somebody to fucking talk to. You're so, it's almost midnight already. There's no way you're not fucking lit, but, what's up, man?
No, fucking.
So yeah, you just walked in at that point, so you didn't hear what I actually was talking about prior to that douchebag.
No, I'm fresh.
So I decided I'm going to move them into the house.
Yep.
My mom called me today and told me that she's having a full knee.
Oh, they're just like straight replacement?
Yep. Oof. Yeah. She fucked up the knee when the implant, the nerve stimulator, fucking damaged that nerve, and she was out walking one time and she had a bunch of nerve pain. She tripped as a result and fucking landed on a curb and fucked up her knee and shoulder, and it's been getting gradually worse ever since. And she saw shout out to Crevetti. If you ever need an orthopedist, if you need a knee guy and you're in the Las Vegas area, trust me, he handles a lot of ex-sports players and shit like that.
Yeah.
He gave her a few options after the MRI, and he was like, well, you know, I can Band-Aid it, or you can just schedule it. And so she scheduled it for the 26th. She's going to have a total knee, and she'll be out of commission for approximately 6 weeks.
Oof.
So I'm going to just speed that up and get him in here.
Right.
Because I'm not going to be schlepping over there all the fuck time. And yeah, we'll see.
What was the other option that they were looking at?
Gel injection, cortisone to maybe dull some of the pain, but also he does a gel injection to try and provide some cushioning because she had a tear and she had like the padding was completely gone. It was just
Do you know which ligament it was?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't have. We didn't talk about it. So.
Right. Yeah, because the thing that I've heard from people who've gotten like hip and knee replacements, that's like end stage. Like that's like the absolute last thing you want to do. You want to ride it out for as long as possible.
She's been riding it for a while.
Right. So it's just like fuck.
Yeah.
That's tough.
Yeah. Yeah. And even more depressing, I finished Hitman 3. Story's over.
Broke my ass with that one. I wasn't ready.
Dude, coming up on the end, my heart was, I mean, literally pounding, and I hit the end and I got sad. I was like, oh, it's over.
You know, I'm surprised. Is there... correct me if I'm wrong, but does Hitman 3 have like a player-generated like type of map type deal that they could do?
No, the engine is not built for that at all. So,
because I feel like that's the type of game that it would like really lend itself to just like let the community go fucking wild and just design maps of their dreams, you know?
No, it's apparently a lot. They have an entire server backend that runs a good portion of this stuff. So, yeah, it's not designed for it.
Right.
Which is super bummer. Hey, Zealot. And then fucking everybody apparently was encountering tankies today to one degree or another, it seems like.
Dude, they're like fucking everywhere online. It's hilarious.
That's like I put in the comments. That's my full position as of now. Like, I'm done with this week with polluting my mind with their bullshit. Let them go fondle Winnie the Pooh's nutsack and fuck right off.
I mean, that's the thing is that like unless you're in South America or like the Middle East or Asia, they're like stupidly irrelevant. It's hard to overstate how irrelevant they are, especially here in the States. You know, the only thing they do is just like make us look bad. But outside of that, they have no institutional power. They don't have any sort of vanguard party going on. There isn't a demand for a vanguard party like among the like trolls. Like, there's pretty much like no reason to engage outside of like drama farming.
Hey, Viva. I'm of the I'm on board I put that in there too. MAGA, QAnon, tankies, conspiracy theorists. It's just a cluster of mental illness. That's it. We need better mental health care in this country.
Well, I think it's that and alienation as well. Because like a lot of these people are just like deeply lonely people that just don't go outside.
But I mean that's that's therapy.
Fair.
Seek therapy.
Right.
Yeah. I'm done trying to justify their shit. I'm done trying to like, if you go down this rat hole and X, Y, and Z. No, we have no mental health care in this country. People get railroaded into all sorts of fucking cult-like behavior patterns. And the next thing you know, they get taken advantage of by bad actors.
Yeah, like propagandists and shit. Mr. Mayhem, to like make it super short, they're basically like unironic Stalinists. They're big fans of modern China, former, Cuba, the Soviet Union, all that shit. Like they're just all in on the genocides and atrocities. Stalin did nothing wrong types.
They think the DPRK or North Korea is legitimately a utopia.
Yeah.
I'm not joking. These people argue that. So, there you go. And what's up, Mayhem? So, kulaks?
Yeah, pretty much. Like, that's the thing, is just like I've like long like disengaged with them because it's like there's no point. Like here in the States, there's like literally no reason whatsoever. They don't do anything. They're just kind of online, and that's pretty much it.
Yeah, Skeptic. Yeah, you sent me that one. Oh, it just... Yeah, so between, you know, the fucking full knee and having to move them into this house, God help me.
Got your plate full.
And then, yeah, and then the heartbreak that is Hitman. Telling you, it killed me.
You need a new stealth game.
Yeah. I spent the last 45 minutes just walking around the neighborhood. They think Xinjiang is a meditation center. No. They've evolved. Now the tanky line is that, in fact, it's not that it's not happening. It's that, in fact, the Muslims in the area are terrorists. And
yeah, we've moved from it's not happening to, and if it is happening, they deserved it.
Yeah,
like we're moving stages now. Yeah.
I just
you got it, Swede. You know the game here.
We have let's see, we've got one. Right? What's the goddamn command?
It was
Oh, it's not plural.
Oh, just Uyghur?
Yeah. There you go. It's not happening. It's imperialist propaganda. Well, we've moved past that. And if it is happening, it's not that bad. Well, we've moved past that. And if it's that bad, it's for their own good. We moved past that. And if it wasn't for their own good, they had it coming. That's where we are now. Yeah.
And they're already kind of preempting the you've done worse bit. Like, anytime you constantly say this, it's like, well, we got shit in our own backyard, or, you know, America's the imperial core, or... See, here's what I think is going to happen is that they're just going to say that, like, America did, like, the Iraq and Iran, and just, like, basically say that we've killed more people, and thus we can't criticize China. That's my
oh yeah, I mean, that's, well, it's not even, I mean, like you said, they're already doing that to some degree. Some of them are, yeah. Some of them aren't. The mass hasn't shifted there yet, but a significant chunk of them are already there. Yeah, skeptic. I've heard some people say, yes, China does bad shit. Every country does bad shit.
Sweet, I know, but, like, Bad Empanada's, like, he's just fucking crazy. Like, he's crazy. Like, he's way off the rails.
Hey, himself. The indigenous people would make up a large portion of that count. Hey. True. You know, in China doesn't do any imperialism. I don't know what you're talking about. They've never oppressed an indigenous people. I have no idea what you're talking about there, Zealot. Right. Traditional logic, and think everyone should be forced to read or take a course on traditional logic. I'm an advocate for trivium, logic, grammar, and rhetoric. These are things that should be taught.
I'm in that same train, though, but, like, that part of me just wonders if that would even fix it.
Oh,
you know?
Oh, and hey, aristocracy. Sorry, I didn't see you come in. BE loves him some Che and Castro.
Bad Empanada.
Yeah, I put that together.
Yeah.
I don't have it in me for these people. Like, at least for the rest of the week. Fuck them. They're broken in the head. Like, that's.
Well, that's. I mean, I've been at that conclusion for a long time. It's just like, what? Like, why do we worry about these people? Like, what do they do? Like, realistically.
Well, I can tell you what they do. They're so broken that they're already flunking out of their first year law course.
I heard about that one.
Yeah.
My point is, like, politically, though, they don't do anything here in the States, the UK, like, pretty much any first world nation, wholly irrelevant. Like, literally nothing whatsoever. No, but like, the only reason, like, to pay attention to them is, like, just for, like, internet drama or whatever.
Well, I mean, okay, so there is a counter argument to that.
Okay. Obviously, they organize harassment campaigns.
There you go.
But
we share headspace.
I'm just
I mean,
This is such a shit show.
one of these days they're gonna get somebody killed if they haven't already. Like, that's the thing.
Dude, I'm telling my bet's on Merrick, dude. I think she might actually be the first one to like get got because of him, and
Yeah.
they're gonna deny it. I think some crazy 3%er
Uh-huh.
incel type is gonna be like is gonna be spurred by them.
Yep, 100%.
Hey.
Well, Merrick is all right for the moment.
Oh, yeah, no, they've fucking like
She spun up
What?
a new Twitter account, and they had her fucking doxxed within the hour.
yeah, boy.
Right? And we're already duplicating accounts, creating fake accounts that are one letter off of the account name that she had, making outrageous statements, trying to inflame the... just legitimately.
Yeah, they're just like horrible people.
Yeah, they are. They're broken, horrible people. They need help. Swatting is an act of terrorism. It is.
Wait, is it?
I mean, it's a politically... Well, I mean, in this instance, it's a politically motivated attempt at violence in an end goal to silence somebody. This is terrorism. Like, that's...
I guess it's fair. Fuck.
Yeah, that's fucking terrorism. I mean, you know, not all swatting is terrorism, but, I mean, some of it's just dumbassery.
Political swatting?
But yeah, I mean, in the case of fucking Merrick, like, if she gets swatted, that's terrorism. Yeah.
Man, it just sucks to know that like the FBI's on her ass because of all this shit.
Yeah.
They have to like keep tabs on her.
Bad Birdie, Merrick DeVille is a sex worker and, as she self-describes, baby leftist who said a couple of things, and a bunch of fucking degenerate idiots just lost their collective shit and have been organizing a harassment campaign ever since, all the way up to and including doxing her ass, handing her personal information over to 3%ers, which is like violent right-wing militia groups and the alt-right, in an attempt to kill her, potentially. They've threatened... Kiwi Farms got in on it, and they were threatening to swat her. She got framed for a fucking bombing online and had to call the FBI to make sure they weren't going to raid her fucking house. Like, yeah. That's... I mean...
Yeah.
These people are not
anything
well.
Harassment campaigns is kind of whitewashing it, to be frank.
No. Introspective. Sorry. I can introduce you to a shit ton of left-wing authoritarians.
Yeah.
I can point you to their Twitch channel.
You know, it's crazy.
Hey, Barley.
People complaining about her show up on my Twitter feed more than she does herself, and I follow her. Oh, same. It's hilarious.
Estrella, initially the sexual mutual aid thing kicked it off. Yeah, that was what lit the fire.
Right. And then from there, it's just fucking spiraled.
The Axis talks apparently lit another flame.
Yeah.
Fucking, yeah.
Another one was like her plugging her OnlyFans after making a tweet about like the India protests.
Yes. Yeah.
Like super minor, like banal shit that like nobody gives a fuck about.
Thank you for following, Lilith, by the way. Sorry. We deal with a lot of these assholes through. It sucks. It seems like a nice lady. Yeah. Oh yeah.
Pretty much Yoo-hoo. Like it's like so it started out as like literally high school drama, and now it's like devolved into this shit.
I mean, it started off as the most banal take.
Okay, himself. This is like the hot take that shouldn't be a hot take, but like, why is it a problem for her to plug her OnlyFans after making that tweet? Genuinely. Like, if somebody, like, if if somebody fucking if let's say like I post like the India thing, and I don't have an OnlyFans, but like if I plug my Patreon and said like, hey, look, if you follow me or like interested in my tweets or whatever, like here's my fucking Patreon, help me pay my bills or whatever. Yeah. Not a fucking problem. Like it's just not a fucking problem to make a little bit of money off of that sort of attention. It just isn't.
Oh, like okay, yeah, that's not what they were getting at.
Okay, my bad. I'm
Mr. Sir, yeah, it was bad. It was fucking, that interview was crazy as shit.
Dude, it's cartoonishly hilarious at points. It's just like, fuck, it keeps getting worse. It's just like, god damn. It's not bad form, RB. It just isn't. All right, everybody's got their fucking OnlyFans or their PayPal or their Cash App and their shit.
Here's the truth of the matter. You go to a fucking newspaper website and you go read about the fucking Uyghur genocide, and at the bottom is a line saying subscribe to our website, subscribe to our newspaper.
It's the exact same shit. Just one gives you titties.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, I do himself. Dude, I honestly, she's one of the people I would really like to talk to. She seems super interesting, except I'm afraid to touch her. Legitimately. Like, these people are fucking psychotic. Yeah. Like they are coordinating with right-wing militias to attempt to, assassinate this woman?
Right, and it's just like, and that's the thing, is that this isn't the only type of story I've heard from, like, these tanky circles or whatever. You know, God bless Vosh and shit for trying to keep up, trying to, like, document a lot of this shit. And it's just like,
hey, Oxymass, welcome.
Hey.
Respect.
I will be honest, though, my opinion of, like, Black Bloc tactics has kind of, like, soured over time.
Well, time and place.
Of course.
Yeah.
Now is not the time. It's just...
She's probably open to it, too. She's really good talk with... himself. We all... a bunch of us saw it.
I would bend over backwards to talk with her. Just a nice... it wouldn't even have to be recorded. Just like a Discord call. That'd be fucking baller.
Yeah, like... I legitimately, yeah, she's super interesting. She's really, as far as the sex work thing goes, she's enlightened, for lack of a better term. Hearing her tell that story about how she, she started stripping and she made like $600, and she said I was like a baby giraffe on stage. She's like, oh, it's that moment, that light bulb moment for her, like, oh shit, like this is some real money. Yeah, she a fascinating one. I like titties more than newspapers. There you go.
That's my point. It's like you're getting more out of the deal than if you would have been, reading about that India story than on just like some random news website.
I mean, the titties in the JJ ain't my thing, but I respect it. Right? Like, fuck yeah. Like, here, did you hear about 250 million people protesting? And by the way, if you want to pay me to see my tits, click here. Respect.
Yeah.
Get yours.
It shouldn't be that big of a fucking... It shouldn't warrant, like, assassination threats.
Yeah. Yeah, it should not... That should not really be like, hey, we're going to frame you for a bombing and hand your private information over to a right-wing militia group.
Dude, I have people DMing me for just following her, dude. It's cringe as fuck how, like the sheer toxicity around these spaces. And that's the thing, is it's not just tanky types. They also like brush elbows with like a lot of the woke school types as well.
Oh,
to get that shit done.
Merrick is the she is, I don't know, she is the ultimate test. She really is. I mean, you see authoritarian leftists, Marxist, Leninists, Maoists, you see the fucking woke scolds, you see the alt-right, you see fucking violent, like, right-wing militias, you see evangelical Christians all come together.
Hindu nationalists.
Yeah, Hindu nationalists. Absolutely insane.
No. So basically, she made a tweet covering the India protests, and then like, she basically commented under it, like, I think it was after like several comments. She said, "Here's my OnlyFans."
Oh no, no, titties are wrong. Plain and simple. I'm sorry. I did especially man titties.
Oh yeah. Also, it was a 3%er Zippy.
Boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean, there is literally a harassment campaign organized against this poor woman. And there is a bunch of fucking people that, I mean, again, like I talked about it fucking earlier this week with Lil Nas. Fucking, I mean, you see the idiots come out of the woodwork on that one. All of a sudden, Marxist, Leninist, Maoist, fucking authoritarian communist douchebags are in line with evangelical Christians to condemn the degeneracy of Western imperialism and the satanic America. What? This is just... Oh, of course they did. Because, you know, heaven forbid Nike be associated with something untoward like child slavery in sweatshops. Oh, wait, no, this is something else, right?
Yeah.
Fuck Nike.
Oh, that's funny. Rip. My friend just got his order for 400 bullets just canceled by the seller.
Yeah. Yeah, it's difficult to place those orders. Oxymask, so you're not into bears? No, himself. No, I'm not. What in particular were you asking there, Oxymask? No. No, bears aren't my thing. So let's see. Okay. Oh, so the Metropolitan Police of London didn't know their officer was a member of a legitimate terror group until anti-fascists leaked the data.
God damn.
Yeah. Sarah Palin tested positive for COVID-19, and now all of a sudden is urging people to wear masks in public.
Wait, so I didn't know Lil Nas was getting shit on by lefties. It's because of Nike? No, it's because of the satanic imagery.
Yeah. Oh, like, yeah. It's because, well, one, it sort of depends. All right. The Satanism, the satanic imagery plus the homosexuality, right? Because if you weren't aware, despite the fact that there's a bunch of fucking LGBT queer people who unironically support MLM tanky shit, that crew hates Western degenerates, right? Tankies believe that under communism and once you dissolve Western imperialism, degeneracy like pornography and homosexuality will go away.
Yeah, well, I'll just be good like political bots that like labor for the sake of our community and will like, you know, it's just that sort of like thinking.
Yeah. They're fucking traditional gender roles, anti-homosexuality, anti-trans, despite the fact that there's a bunch of fucking brainwashed suckers within the LGBT plus community who are unironically supporting these idiots. That you're like, oh no, it's fucking great. We'll just be one of the proletariat. No, you will be purged. And so the homosexuality in combination with the satanic imagery and Western imperialism brought a whole bunch of fucking tankies and off-lefters out of the woodwork to, you know, to make declarative statements about how America is satanic and how Western degeneracy leads to things like Lil Nas and, you know, that sort of thing.
Serious question: who are the libertarian right allies, like classical liberals, social democrats, that sort of like crowd? We can work with them.
I mean, to be perfectly honest, we could probably end run the ANCAPs even.
Yeah.
Like,
no, we could totally like when it comes to thing like gun laws, freedom of speech shit, we could totally work with the ANCAPs. Easy.
Like, we just have to keep an eye on them. But
Yeah.
again, we got to keep an eye on these other fuckers too. So,
Right.
you know, as an anarchist, basically your life is watching your back politically. So it's just a matter of, all right, who's the craziest right now? Pay attention.
Yeah.
Hey,
Satanic
Fister.
erotica. Never really considered it.
Fister's got a new project to draw to paint.
I dig it.
I'm sorry. Did the German person just talk about U.S. degeneracy? I've seen y'all's porn. I've seen y'all's gay clubs.
I mean, just Germany in general, frankly. You know, drunken bar fights all over the fucking place, neo-Nazis fighting in the fucking woods with anti-fascists. You know, we see the soccer videos, son. We know what goes down over there.
Let's see. Let me scroll back a ways. All right. If they really think that the behavior is caused by capitalist society, why are they attacking the people exhibiting the behavior instead of attacking the society? It's like taking a cough drop to treat COVID. Fair enough, Cassiopeia.
I mean, that's the thing, is they're not thinking that far ahead. They don't care for the nuance.
I mean, okay.
I mean,
Okay. I mean, I'd like a better
if he wins
candidate.
the primaries again, then yeah, I'd probably vote for him in the national again. He seems like he's doing good work so far.
Thank you, Viva. Yeah. So let's see. So far, an estimated over 40. We're aware of 40, but there's an estimate of north of 40 children have been killed by the military in Myanmar.
Amazing.
Yeah. Also, just so you know, the Myanmarian military is supported and backed by China.
Oh, fucking every fucking time, dude.
Yeah. There's a natural gas and oil pipeline that runs right through their country into China. And the jade that is mined in northern Myanmar is of particular cultural importance in China. And the profits that are derived from that industry seemingly disappear into the military coffers on a regular basis. Also, since they always love, the MLMs always love this sort of shit. Hang on, let me, I'll get it on screen. My browser's actually closed for that. All right. So since, oh no, it's always Vietnam. I'm sorry. That's their talking point. Either way, this is fucking this is nightmare fuel anyway.
Well, their two like proudest ones are Vietnam and Cuba. Those are like the two.
Here's Thailand. Our new silk line from Thailand is made by incredible women in the prison in Chiang Mai. Carcel.
Wait, are they just proud of that?
Oh yeah. No, this is an ad. This is an ad. Fucking introducing Carcel.co. Introducing silk made in prison, Danish design, 100% natural materials.
Oh, well, god. Okay, well, you know, hey. I don't know. I guess what's the line? What's the line of thinking coming from? Is it just like labor is good for the soul? This is what rehabilitation looks like? Or are they going to say that she's paid well?
No, that was my mistake. I thought it was Vietnam. I thought that was made in Vietnam, but once I popped it open, I just had Southeast Asian countries meld into one in my brain.
Kai did a racism on stream.
Yes, apparently so. Actually, that would be nationalism. Pretty sure that the Thai people aren't like, it's a nationality. Because there's a whole bunch of ethnic minorities within the nation state of Thailand and Vietnam. Sure. So I conflated their nation states, not the peoples.
Racist. Oh damn. Oh, they're gonna find the right term, guy. I think they're determined now.
Viva now.
Oh, that's great.
Solid work, Viva. Solid work.
It's about 50 ethnicity. Well, no shits.
Hey, Skeleru. So New York State is going to end long-term solitary confinement in prisons and jails. They're going to keep short-term, of course. But, you know, I guess take the wins where you can get them.
Right.
This Nike shoe is probably made with child slave labor. Exactly. Well, we'll jump to that in a second. So Matt Gaetz fucking apparently showed nude photos of one of his sexual conquests on the floor of Congress. Like he was, yeah. Reports are coming out that apparently he was showing around like nude photos in Congress of like, hey, check this chick out, I was banging her, sort of thing.
Were they at least of age?
I mean, I'm hoping so, but we don't know. We don't know at this point.
Dude, that story is such a fucking shit show.
Oxybass, yeah, we covered that yesterday. Actually, yeah, in New York, I mean, full on legalized it. There's a whole bunch of like market regulations that still have to take place to set up stores and stuff like that. But yeah, 3 different times he did this. Yeah.
You see? Oh my god.
Oh, no worries, Oxy. No. Don't apologize. I just I just ad reference. It took him 38 years to get a high school girlfriend. Oh, that was fucking solid work. Hey, Rabbit. Rabbit, I've shared a few odd concepts that have come out of Marxist feminism before, but probably my favorite was that PMS doesn't exist. Women have just been brainwashed by Western toxic patriarchy. They're fucking batshit insane. Hey, Joe.
Because like Matt Gaetz got busted for like trying to like getting 17 or 16-year-olds from like one state he was basically trying to get them to a state where like 16 is the age of consent.
So this is a fun one. Did they not learn this shit from Anthony Weiner? No. Yeah. Oh yeah, Rabbit. We talked about it when the story broke the other day about his fucking 19-year-old Cuban son who was younger when. God damn. He got a fucking. He basically pulled a. Oh God. Who is the name is escaping me. Mia Farrow.
Mm-hmm.
Woody Allen. He basically pulled a Woody Allen. So, oh, sorry, wrong page. So this is fun. Let me get it. All right. So, there was an opinion piece published in CGTN, which is the Chinese national, Chinese national network. It used to be CCTV. Refuting allegations against China of the genocide of the Muslim majority Uyghurs in the Chinese region of Xinjiang by a French journalist by the name of Beaumont. Here's the problem. They made up the journalist. France maintains a registry of their press. Also, there's very thorough, networking within the community of press. This person doesn't exist. This person is just a fabrication by the Chinese state media. And so, yeah, they published this entire hit piece under the name of this supposed French journalist who just doesn't exist. And yeah, the French have on record. Le Monde has published the article, and they invented a French journalist. Which, again, I'm thinking that, you know, if there wasn't anything going on there, there would be no need to invent a French journalist, right? That seems odd to have to do that if there wasn't any, you know, fire behind that smoke.
I just can't, dude. I just can't fucking do it.
Oh, let's see.
I just don't even know why.
Oh, somebody...
Like, what does one have to gain from, like, unironically allying with China as, like, some random fucking socialist in, like, America? Like, I don't even get it.
Hey, so... yeah, they literally just fabricated a journalist.
Like, is it just clout for these people?
Well, I mean, it probably played in China. But, I mean, anywhere else, it was like, you know we can check this, right? And France immediately jumped on it. Like, Le Mans fucking immediately started fact-checking. And they ran the National Registry of Registered Press Credentials. They ran the networks, the websites, the collaborative websites. They searched. Like, they're like, does anybody by this name exist who is, like, maybe a blogger? Anything? No, they fabricated the person.
This is great.
Yeah.
Hi guys.
What's going on, Sue?
Freedom Pineapple. Thanks, Foxy. We're just fucking Don Rother, famous American journalist. Oh,
We're just, you know, we're just two broken souls, just kind of, you know, doing things.
Yeah, fake journalist equals fake news. Like, that's, I'm sorry. Like, there's no...
fake news.
Yeah, like, there's no need. If there's nothing going on there, why are you inventing journalists to publish pieces under? Like, that's, like, whatever you're... like, yeah. I immediately, if there weren't, I don't know, all of the other first-hand accounts and other evidence to the contrary, you know, fucking even then, I'd be like, you know what? Now we need to look into that more because clearly something's going on there.
Right.
Like, you not only made up a journalist, you made up a journalist. So the story that's attached to this fabricated journalist has to be fabricated as well, right? Or else there would be no need to fabricate said journalist. So what's the point of the story? The point of the story is to not deny that there's, you know, an indigenous population of Uyghurs, there's an indigenous population of Muslims in the region who are being genocided.
Right.
Like, that's it. It's the end of the beginning, middle, and end of the fucking story. Like, that alone would put enough questions in the air for me. That's like, why?
Do you want to know, like, do you want to know the deeper stage of this? That, like, I wish I didn't, like, notice. Apparently, there are some people who think that the attacks that happened in Xinjiang were caused by Uyghurs who were trained by the U.S.
Oh, yes, I've come across this as well. The Army Ranger CIA dissident trained camp thing.
Dude, like, why?
Zippy. Oh, Modi in India has got a whole Hindu nationalism program going on. Yeah, they're levels of shit fuckery.
Online to learn, like, Uyghur, like, as a language?
Oh no, it's Puanon. I don't know, maybe. What do they speak?
They speak Uyghur.
Okay, that's
Like,
that's the language name.
like-
All right.
It's basically like a super bastardized, like, evolved over, like, multiple generations of, like, Turkish. Like, that's, like, the closest, like, family that it has, but, like, it's...
Oh, yeah, it belongs to the Karluk Turkic family of the Turkic language family.
Yeah, basically it's a dead language that's still alive, is, like, the best way to, like, describe, like, just how isolated it is.
Interesting.
So, yeah,
well, it won't be around in a few generations. China's seeing to that. China, these are not the Muslims you are looking for.
Wait, what's going on with Chechnya? I actually know about that region, the Caucasus. What's the conversation I'm missing here?
Oh, I don't know, but I mean, Russia is.
Oh yeah, Russia has fuckloads of Muslims, and they're all from like different ethnic groups. There's the Avars, you know. Basically, if you want to like learn about that, like just look into like the Dagestani region. You know, look into Dagestan, Chechnya. What was the third one? Like really, like just like that general. Yeah, the Turkmens, the fucking the Georgians, like that whole like region. Like just look into that if you want to learn about like Russia's history with like Turkish people and like the Uzbek as well, Kazakh. Like the Soviet Union has like a long storied history with like Turkish and Caucasian people. Azerbaijan, that's another one. Yep.
And it's
Armenia as well.
pretty bloody.
Like, yeah. The Soviet Union got killed a lot of fucking people, a lot of innocent people too. Like, just like let's not fucking beat around the bush here.
Yeah. I mean, yeah.
The Chechens got fucked, son. The way that they ordered deals with like Ramzan Kadyrov and shit, total like just dirty fucking rats. The Soviets toward like I just
what was I gonna say? I don't know. That's
where do we turn for other countries for allies then to get rid of this fucking garbage, fucking shit state we have?
Well, other people, not the countries.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have way more in common with you, Sue, than like some Canadian MP, you know.
But, I mean that's, but I mean that's the truth of the matter is you don't. The same reason that you don't stand there and fucking wave an American flag and say America is the greatest country to ever exist is the same reason you don't wave the fucking hammer and sickle and say China has never done any wrong and it's the greatest country on the face of the planet. Like, be a goddamn adult and understand nuance and distinctions and histories and don't fucking put your head in the sand like a goddamn moron and pretend because you have a political narrative and a bias that they're the greatest thing since whatever. And because China has stamped out mad amounts of indigenous populations. They have run conquests. They are an empire unto themselves. They use financial blackmail and economic imperialism to at present take over entire sections of Africa. They're super racist towards entire regions of the Southeast Asia and especially black people, by the way. Russia has the same fucking thing to their name. And again, so does America, and so does Britain, and so does the Dutch, and so does okay? Like, it's about being an adult with with an understanding of basic history and not giving in to your, I don't know, delusions and your fantasies and your fictions because you have a cause that you want to fight for. You want to fight for communism? Fine, fight for communism. But don't fucking pretend like China is goddamn innocent.
It's really any of these countries, like just really anywhere.
Yeah.
They all have blood on their hands.
Like, what has nobody been paying attention to human history for the past few thousand years? This is a shit show.
Yeah, we gotta stop. Like we gotta try something different. This whole like allegiance to nations thing, kind of cringe. Killed a lot of people. Probably shouldn't be doing it anymore.
Yeah. So, who do we? Germany is innocent, says Viva. Viva with some solid takes.
Yeah. Germany's very innocent. Fucking, what's it called? Also, only facts. I don't disagree that like Chechen leaders are like they were pretty shit, but like you gotta understand that these people were bombed into the Stone Age, and like racially segregated and like forced to move out of their native lands for one. Like just straight up just herded across mountains and shit.
I mean, that's the thing. Like, I mean, you as an indigenous person who can like hyper relate to a lot of the shit that all of these empires have done. And I mean, the fact of the matter is that for as much blood that Britain and America has on its hands in this part of the world, as far as indigenous cultures go in that part of the world, Russia and China have just as much blood.
Yeah, there's a reason why all these motherfuckers speak Russian now.
Yeah.
Armenians, they can speak Russian. Fucking Chechens, they can speak Russian. The
Yeah.
45 something odd ethnicities in Dagestan, they all speak Russian now. There's a reason for it.
I mean, that's, empires come along, they force their way into your lives, they ethnically genocide you, they culturally genocide you, and the next thing you know, what's left of your people is speaking either fucking Mandarin, Russian, or English.
Or French.
Or French,
is the other
yeah.
one.
What is it? I think it's... Is it... No, I don't think it's Poland. Is it Poland?
What about Poland?
When the USSR fell, and then there's like still to this day there's like war going on, fighting.
Oh,
No.
it's Ukraine.
It's Ukraine.
Well,
Yeah.
really, that whole region, Belarus, Ukraine, again, the Caucasian, just like area, the Balkans. Like,
I mean,
that's
yeah.
all that shit.
I mean, Ukraine is hot right now.
Like right now there are boots on the ground
Yeah.
in Ukraine.
Russian separatists like 3-4 days ago now shelled and killed 4 Ukrainian soldiers, and there are Russian soldiers amassing from a variety of regions on the Ukrainian border.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah. It's the same. Mao fucking lined up indigenous people and fucking said, guess what? Your land now belongs to the people. We don't care that you've been here for generations and generations. There is a greater cause now, and you will be in service to it. Oh, you don't want to? Interesting. We'll see how that plays out for your people. It's the same. And I mean, it doesn't take a lot, I mean, to find any amount of history on these sorts of things. It's not like, I went to the CIA library and found out. No, you can go to Southeast Asian, educational sources and find this sort of stuff out. You can go to Eastern European educational sources and find this stuff out. Like, it's not fucking Western propaganda. It's not CIA. And I'm sorry, I would like you to show me a nation state who engages in empirical empirical activities, who didn't execute indigenous people, commit genocide, right? Like it comes with it just comes with the territory, right? Like that's sort of comes part and parcel with the gig. And so for anybody to sit back and be like, oh, well, China's hands are clean. China's been an empire for 2,000 years.
A warring empire at that.
Yeah.
Internal conflict.
I know that China has its issues.
They got 2,000 years worth.
And I say that generously.
Yeah. They got 2,000 years worth of blood on their hands. They've put up numbers.
Yeah.
They put up numbers we could only dream of.
Yeah, and well,
it's true.
I like I said, I say that generously. What I don't understand is the need to go to war with them right away, other than the factor that they're becoming a competition for the big corporations in the United States in the marketplace.
Well, I mean, but the argument would be is look at both sides of this fairly and objectively and see what's happening. Yeah, oh yeah, don't get me wrong. There's U.S. buildup, but there's also Chinese buildup, right? Like, the Philippines had to order 200 ships out of their territorial waters. So you know what China does? They send 250 fucking ships onto in and around 6 islands that are Philippine islands. Right? China, this is what China's doing, right? Like China has taken over due to economic imperialism entire sections of Africa right now, right? Like again, not forgiving what, you know, the US protectionism and internationalism and economic imperialism as well. But this isn't, you know the old, like when you're growing up, it takes two to tango sort of thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
There's two tangoing.
Yeah.
It's there isn't just one side on this issue. These are two different empires that have financial interests, territorial interests. They have geopolitical interests.
Yeah, I mean, just look at like the Belt and Roads Initiative and what they're doing in like Latin America right now. They're setting they're setting a fucking shop.
Yeah. I mean, China isn't doing it out of the goodness of their heart, despite what the fucking tankies will have you believe, because they've already defaulted several African ports, like major African ports, because they couldn't pay the upkeep, so they foreclosed on them for all intents and purposes, and they said, well, they're ours now then. Imagine having like I don't know, what's a major Canadian port? It doesn't matter. What's the Port of Los Angeles. Imagine having fucking, the Port of Los Angeles all of a sudden owned by Uruguayans or something like that, right? Like it's one of those things. And I mean, especially as an indigenous person, you can understand somebody coming along and just sort of declaring that, oh yeah, because of a reason that you're really not even that familiar with, and culturally you never really engaged in the first place, this sort of high level international financier shit. Because of a couple of decimal places, yeah, your port and your land is now ours.
Why does that sound so fucking familiar?
Well, that's what we're saying, son.
Because this is what empires do.
Yeah.
And so this is the thing, is it's like, look, of course America isn't innocent, but neither is China. And to be quite frank, China's better at this than we are.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's the thing, is that they fuck them in a very different way than like the IMF does.
Yeah.
Like that they have they know how to bait and switch a little bit deeper into the game, and and know how to like offer legit economic prosperity.
Like,
yeah,
I mean the truth of the matter is they have a 2,000-year head start.
Yeah, they go in, they send their loans when they can't pay, they send in their workers as well, and then the cultural genocide, like they're fucking way better.
Yeah. And so, I mean, they're doing the same thing that we did to your people. So and they're doing it right now. They're doing it in Africa. They're doing it across Southeast Asia. They're doing it in the archipelago they're doing it across the South China Sea. Russia is doing their same fucking expansionism bullshit in Ukraine right now. And I mean, yeah, like this is the game. This is the game. And, as an anarchist, it pisses me off royally when I have to put up with these fucking tanky heads and the fucking MAGA heads and all these other fucking, authoritarian ilk that, like, well, on one side, we've got fucking chest-beating, flag-waving American stars and bars bullshit. And on the other one, I've got some fucking moron waving a hammer and sickle saying that China is the greatest thing to ever happen. And it's like, this is the same thing as the Democrats and the Republicans at this point, right? You're just choosing team red or team blue. Meanwhile, you're ignoring the underlying problem. Authoritarianism. You think that you have the right because you have might.
It's a good way to put it.
I'm at a loss with a lot of these people. Go ahead, Sue.
I get all of that. I just don't completely think that we need to go to war with China.
Well, that will be determined.
Yeah,
that'll be determined by China, probably. That's the weird truth of the matter, is China will probably be the one who determines that. It's like saying, I don't have, yeah, I mean, I don't have a comparable, but the fact of the matter is between China's, their ocean floor mining and the overfishing. Here's something for you to look into sometime, Sue. Look into China's fishing fleets on a global scale. They're literally largely responsible at this point for the depletion of the oceans.
I am aware of that because I also know over in like Newfoundland and that area over there in Canada, the whole entire fight between the white settlers in Canada and the indigenous people over there was simply because China has been coming and farming all the lobster and shit off the shore.
Yeah.
Just outside of the what do you call it?
Coastal waters.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right off the line, right in international water.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, this is the thing. Like, I mean, they keep invading sovereign airspace. They keep invading and overfishing in and around islands. For fuck's sake, Ecuador had to warn off Chinese fishing fleets. Like, this is the thing. Like, I think honestly, whether that happens, whether that escalation happens or not, will probably be determined by China.
And I also know that there's a lot of homes in Canada that were built that are like only 355, 75K.
Yep.
That China has come in and bought up and put the prices up to like $1 million or more.
New Zealand had to shut down Chinese buyers from fucking up their real estate market. Yeah.
Like and I'm not trying to, how do I put this? I don't want anyone to think that in any way, shape, or form I'm trying to be racist or against.
It's not against the people. It's against China. Right? Like that's the thing. Nobody's talking about, X, Y, or Z people, because by the way, to say China and conflate that with the Chinese people, dude, do you know how many ethnic groups are in China?
Yeah, quite a few.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, there's multiple language groups in there. They're all divided by like which region they're from and like, the different, background. Like it's just, there isn't a Chinese people.
Yeah. And so,
people that live in China.
It's just the same way we criticize America or we criticize Britain or we criticize fucking Turkey, who, by the way, we'll get around to because they're up to some shit right now, too. We're criticizing China. And yet Israel.
Yes.
That's the thing. And that's the difference, I think, between children and adults. Adults are able to have a nuanced conversation. Children don't do that. Children see the world in black and white when there's basically mostly shades of gray. And that's the thing with a lot of MLMs, a lot of fucking tankies. In their crusade to crucify the US and Western imperialism, they've willingly turned their backs on a whole other set of imperialistic tactics. And it's just like, look, no one's saying America's the greatest country on the face of the planet. Nobody's saying America didn't commit genocide. Nobody's saying America doesn't have a shit ton of blood on their hands. But if you think China doesn't have the exact same set of problems, then you haven't ever cracked a book open. It's just that simple. There's only two ethnic groups in China: party loyalists and threats to national security. Oh, premarital.
Dirty, son.
Oh god, the neo-Ottomanism in Turkey is killing me, says Skeptic. Dude, nuance is so hard though. Fine, but what our lead into a global movement, into a global system that actually serves our humanity? I'm gonna come up with that. Some Ataturk would do them again. Some of the complaints about China. Oh, yeah. Because they're using U.S.'s definition of sovereign water for China. Yeah. Okay, so basically, the Galata Bridge in Istanbul was blockaded by the Trade Union Federation, KESK. Basically, it's a bunch of women blockaded the bridge, and the chant that they were chanting was, "We will not be isolated. We are women, and we are in revolt." If you're familiar with that part of the world, well, then you can sort of understand probably some of their complaints.
God damn. Well, what happened? Did they get jailed? Did they get fucking...
Yeah, they got fucking pulled off, of course.
Okay. I was hoping there was...
That's been going on in Hawaii for a while, Barley Hops. It's been literally a tug-of-war between China and the United States in Hawaii.
Yeah. We constantly warn them off. I mean, we've got a naval station out there, so they don't get too close. They stay right out there over the imaginary line. It's like that. Meanwhile, the indigenous people of Hawaii, Polynesians, are seeing their fishing stocks go down as well due to Chinese overfishing.
Of course.
Yeah. And, I mean, the Philippines are caught right in it. Like I said, they're... Get rid of your 200 fucking ships. So they send 250 instead. And a bunch of them are militias. Like Chinese militia, naval militias. So they're sending armaments into the archipelago now. So, you know, like that's maybe those are happy fun time guns, right? Like those are spreading the worker empowerment from China, right? Like that's instead of spreading democracy at the end of a barrel like we do, China's spreading worker empowerment at the end of a barrel.
Who's worker empowerment?
Yeah, well, if you want to know how that plays out, I'll just point you to Kronstadt and Russia, because Soviet Russia had that happen. Bunch of fucking workers, 2,000 to the estimate, decided that they were tired of producing for a nation state that mistreated them. And, well, yeah, that whole power to the working class thing, they executed 2,000 people in and around in the woods of Kronstadt. Like that's how that played out.
Yep.
Yeah, we would like to be in control of our production. We would like to be in control of our futures, our fates. Yeah, about that. Just come out here and have a chat. Cap. Yeah. So, yeah, that's usually how that plays out. Is that, you know, the regime is all about the empowerment of the working class until the working class says, hey, how about I be in control of my own resources? Yeah. About that. I'm going to need you to just, you know, get shot twice in the back of the head, zip yourself up in this duffel bag, and throw yourself off this bridge, because clearly it was suicide.
I mean, we could probably find, you know, allies and such in like Vietnam.
Yeah, I wouldn't even say that. They have their own shit going on too, with like arresting political dissidents and all that sort of shit. Their hands definitely aren't as clean.
And yeah, their textile trade has a whole bunch of fucking slave labor in it, and well, you know, and and it's usually the ethnic minorities, women, and children who are in those sweatshops. Oxymass, I know about Taiwan's freedom pineapples. You don't have to keep mentioning freedom pineapples. Yes, I know about supporting their national pineapple trade.
Rabbit, I love you, bro.
I mean, he is.
Oh. Neuropathy's been fucking killing me because I started working out again, and I mean, there's no point. Yeah, there's no point in fucking taking testosterone if you're not gonna fucking have a workout routine, right? So
That's it.
You don't want to push yourself either, though, because you have things that you have to take in consideration as a young man.
I mean, really, at this point, I'm fucked. So I might as well, just lean into it. Yeah. Oh yeah, Estrella. Yeah, it's the fucking Vietnam. Yeah, whenever voting comes up, Vietnam starts rounding up political dissidents. Oh, there's a vote happening. Time for democracy. Why are you arresting people en masse? Well, they're not going to vote the right way.
It's for their own good, in order to preserve, I don't know. What's like the line that they tend to throw out there? Like, in order to like keep bourgeois Western influence out or something to that effect.
Yeah, Rabbit responding to Skeptic. After Kronstadt and the success of the Bolsheviks in Russia and the Russian Revolution, Kropotkin came back to Russia, hoping for a progressive turnaround. As soon as he got back, he pretty much said, "This is a complete disaster." And Rabbit said, "That's pretty much what messed up Stirner the rest of the way. Hey, look, abject failure of everything I believe."
It sounds like a story I can relate to. Wonder why.
Viva, but I thought Vietnam was a socialist dreamland. Oh yeah, 100% is. Corey, abortion is green, saves the problem for limitless numbers of us and not in the future, and now and in the future. Yeah, I mean it is. I mean, that's the truth of the matter. Like, if you live in a developed Western nation, the number one thing that you can do to harm the environment is have a kid.
Yeah, not even close.
Yeah.
Mister, I'm actually gonna push back against that. Don't. Like it's not that important. These old tomes aren't gonna really teach you that much.
I mean, yeah, that's the thing. Sir, if you want to have a theory conversation with somebody like Cat or myself or Rabbit, that's fine. Do that, but don't think that the answer is in that. I legitimately, I can tell you, like, with no ego, if you've been hanging around this channel long enough, you already have all the tools you need, right? It's individual autonomy, free association, reciprocal relationships, consent, and mutual aid, right? Community organizing. This is all you need to know, right? And don't neglect electoralism. Don't see it as the primary focus, but don't neglect your down ticket local electoralism. You're good, right? You're off to the races already. Straya.
I mean, I guess to boil it down, Straya, if we really wanted to go down that route, it's just basically become an activist. It's kind of like the long and short of it. Get involved.
Read rules for radicals. Get out there. Yeah. That's honestly.
You'll learn what you need to learn as you go along.
Oh yeah. Vietnam's police have long been an issue. Yeah.
Also, union organizers.
Yeah. If I had to tell you, if you want to read something, right? If you're I need to know, okay, right? I'll teach you the anarchism stuff. I can do that in a fucking half an hour. I'll teach you all you need to know about anarchism. But if you want to read something and you're I want to fill out something, read Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky. That will teach you more actionable that will impart more actionable information to you than any anarchist theory text or any theory text probably ever could. Yeah, if you want to be an activist, if you want to be a community organizer, If you want to be that, the person beating the street and getting shit done, read Rules for Radicals by Saul Alinsky and then apply it to your theory, whatever your theory may be. Then turn it into praxis. I'm going to yell at AOC all day. Fair enough. Skeptic, I've already read that. Then you have everything you need.
Yeah. Oh no! Oh, we made Woke Skull Sky. We failed.
It's okay.
Damn.
It's okay.
Bad birdie.
Pardon protest. I mean, hey, if it works. Yeah, I don't know.
Does
For
it
me, I
exist
guess,
as an audiobook? Probably.
I'm sure it does. Fuck it, I'll make it. Someone send me a copy. I'll read it. And we could just like distribute it as like an MP3 file.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it does. Yeah, it's a thing.
Premarital. I mean, yes, actually, unironically. That's the thing, is that everybody has a different capacity for this shit. It's just like, the point is, like, one of the worst traps you can fall into is just thinking you can just like read your way to a better world.
Yep.
It's just never happened anywhere.
Actually, Handholder, I think you want to do brunch instead of just being a mutual aid sex worker. I think the objectivity is just, it's too hard. We just need brunch. Oh wait, that shit's already done already.
That's the thing. I'm telling you, it's not as. This is the post-anarchism, folks. It's not that difficult. The part that you're like, if you're like, oh, I need to fill my brain with a whole bunch of theory and that sort of stuff. Let me tell you, I've already done it for you. Here's what you need to know. You're an individual. You have a right to decide your own, to decide for yourself. You have a right to make your own way in this world. You have a right to not be coerced, oppressed, or forced into things. This is what should be. You got that? Take it on board. Understand you're an autonomous individual. Go forward. Make the change that you want from there out. That's it. That's basically all anarchistic theory distilled down. You are an autonomous individual. You have the right to make your own decisions. Go make them.
Yep. Twitter is the only true activism. Also react videos to Destiny. True. Not really. Leave Destiny alone, you crazy fucks. Please. Cringe.
Hey, redacted. You can go lick a boat. Redacted, you can go lick a boat, and there's a club here in Las Vegas, if you're particularly into that, I can point you to, that will fulfill that desire for you to your heart's content.
Yeah. Honestly, the more and more I learn about this shit, the less and less solidarity I feel with the Ofcoms. Like, I struggle to see communists as allies anymore.
Well, Rabbit, I was referencing a specific one for that. There's a bunch. But I figured BDSM, but like...
Did he get it? Did he actually get it? What level of degeneracy are we on right now?
I mean, it's definitely an option. The Buffalo is closed right now, though, Rabbit. So you know. You degenerate fuck. Hey, non-binary. Oh, Jesus Christ.
Is that legal?
Well, that's the Las Vegas Metropolitan Police Department's address.
I'm just gonna play it safe.
Yeah, you gonna pull it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna,
Fair enough, non-binary.
It just maybe just that don't want to really play with fire there.
Yeah, fair enough. After you listen to Rules for Radicals, you can listen to Rules for Deplorables. Let's see. Skeptic had said something to me earlier. Oh, same about what about the rapist? It's also a great read. The book is pretty much buys into the capitalist logic when the notion of rape is still a common problem in society. When, according to the book, in an anarchist society, it would be a niche issue. It's a power dynamic issue, and that's the thing. I have it. I've looked through it. I disagree with a huge portion of what it has to say. That's why I've never referenced it on stream. That's why I've never really talked about it. I just happen to have it, and that's when somebody brought it up. I was like, yeah.
Is it basically just like in an ANCOM society, we'll all just like get along?
Yes.
So like rape's not a problem?
Yes.
Okay, yeah.
That's a huge component. I mean, to be fair, that's a reductionist take of it, but to be fair, that is a huge component of it. So.
Okay, well, it covers the brass tacks,
yes,
as it were. I don't. See, that's the thing is that's like my main issue with people like Kropotkin and shit. Like, I don't buy into a lot of the narratives they put forth about like the nature of humanity.
Rock on, Zippy. Happy to hear that. Zippy said, I get a lot of people telling me to read this or that, and I'd agree with whatever they're saying. I'm sure I won't. I'm going to check out your book suggestion, though. Yeah. Rules for Radicals doesn't tell you what you should be thinking. It tells you how to engage in a community to get done what you want to get done. And so it's a tool for an organizer. It's a tool for an activist. It's not a doctrine. It's not dogma. It's not what the book is about. So, yeah, if you want to understand better how to engage and become an organizer or become an activist or a more effective activist or a more effective organizer, that's what that book is about.
Right.
It's not about
or even like frankly, not even just an activist. Like that book gives you just like insight on how to just be like a productive member of your community.
Yeah.
That's a solid form of activism on its own. Being that guy who is willing to pick up somebody's car for cheap, or just being a good friend, being there, being able to understand what your community needs, solid on its own. You don't even need to go like all in on like organizing and shit.
Rabbit, I have to ask, what year were you at Hamburger Mary's?
I need to get more drink,
Okay.
but I do want to get into Birdie's question.
Oh, what did Birdie say?
Oh.
Wait. So okay. Wait,
Oh,
so
okay. Yeah. Go get your drink. I'll fill time. You go get your drink. We'll hold the topic until you get back, Sue.
It's funny because I think this is like one where like the three of us can actually offer different perspectives. Dig it. 2008-ish, says Rabbit.
Okay, so that's... Yeah. That's near the height. I think that's second owner territory. But either way, yeah, you were there at night for the fucking turnover into the go-go club sort of situation. It was always kind of boring, though, to be perfectly honest. Yes, I agree. Oh, Jesus, Amorous.
I got a Guinness I could see through, so I was unimpressed.
Yeah.
Bratan.
Let's see.
Yeah, it's just kind of spicy, non-binary. Just, it's just playing it safe,
Yeah.
If capitalism produces so much, why do people still starve to fucking death? Inefficient distribution networks,
Purposefully inefficient distribution networks.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm back.
Although I will say, I find it real fucking cringe when there are like lefties that are like unironically against like production and increasing production. Because like at that point you just halt progress and like the improvement of material conditions. It's kind of fucking dumb. A little bit, a little smidge, tiny bit.
Well, I mean, I think we would have to take a fair estimate of whether that production or increase of production would cause a harmful footprint.
Well, I mean, yeah, but I mean, like, on that same note, though, if that increase of production can lead to innovation that could lead to a reduction of carbon footprints, then I think it's worth it.
Yeah, I think that there is the nuance of being able to see whether or not it can actually do something positive, but I think we still need to keep a very close eye upon the footprint if we haven't figured that out by now.
Well, let me put it like this: like, are you aware of like how like modern like computer parts came to be?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well, they basically like produced like fuckloads of like small transistors, and that allowed for a lot of its experimentation with like new designs and like making them more compact and that sort of shit. So likewise, if we can find increasing production, if we just put like more of a focus in like research and development to like greener methods of production, then I think it's worth being able to like increase production.
Kaiser.
Yes, Marina.
Kaiser, I don't really think about it much because it's not really my thing. I don't engage in the Anarkata spaces.
What's Anarkata?
It's basically black anarchism.
Okay.
It's anarchist and Akata, I believe, is the root word, and it means like wild animal or like that, something along those lines. And it's a strain or a vein of point-specific black liberation anarchism. Gotcha. And it's, again, not my field. And to be perfectly honest, I've never felt welcome enough in those spaces to engage in them. I would require like an invitation to engage in those spaces, and so I have very little firsthand experience. All I can tell you is from what I've read, there's a decent history of it. There's some interesting theory that's been born of it, but nothing, I mean, truly revolutionary. It's more about embracing the anarchistic philosophies of individualist determination, but using African American or Afrocentric collectivism as a sort of foundational methodology. Yeah. And so,
Yeah, go ahead.
I just, like I said, that's pretty much the limit of my experience with it. I respect it. But I mean, it's not my space, and I would feel like I'm invading it were I not explicitly invited by somebody who is, a theorist or an activist in those spaces.
Yeah, I don't know. I've been in those spaces like for a while, but like most of my experience with like I guess like black politics, for like lack of a better word, would be like with stuff like black nationalism, Pan-Africanism. Like that's where like the majority of like my knowledge just like kind of, because that's just more common, frankly. So, but like, if that thing that you sent me by that dude Bay Marquis is like anything to go about, like with like anarchism, I don't know, it seems cool.
Yeah,
seems decent. Like,
yeah. Okay, so let's roll back a ways. Hey there, Jay Miles. Sorry I didn't address you. We were talking when you first came in. Jay said, have you heard of those super fast trains being developed? Are you excited for them at all? I mean, as a North American, fucking let me know when the actual track is laid, and maybe I'll get excited. Pretty interesting how it'll connect cities, and you go from one city to the other like an hour. It would take like 6 hours driving before. And then later Jay said, are any of you guys concerned at all about the energy usage by computers mining Bitcoin? Concerned? I mean, not explicitly, but they need to knock it the fuck off. Let's just put it that way. In theory, it'll probably only get greater. I know it's not crazy in the scheme of things, but yeah, I think it'd be better to have a more energy-efficient cryptocurrency. It'd be the primary one. There are more energy-efficient cryptocurrencies, by the way, but again, to your point, there aren't. They aren't the primary. And now, Mr. Sir, is there a difference between an anarchist and a Taoist? Seriously trying to learn. Yeah, and an anarchist has a more fleshed out political theory. whereas a Taoist is considered a proto-anarchist. Anarchists do actually lay claim to Taoism as a strange form of Eastern proto-anarchism. It overlaps pretty effectively. If you read the Tao Te Ching, there's stuff in there that most anarchists can get their hands around pretty effectively. We are skeptic. That was the next issue.
And that's why I specifically stated, give me a moment, let me get something to drink.
And they didn't hear their computer putzed out on them.
Yeah.
So they had no idea if we responded or not. Bad, we did not respond to you. We actually held your question because Sue, as he just said, was going to get some fluids of one way, shape, or form. What'd you get? What'd you get, Sue?
I got ginger ale.
I haven't had a ginger ale in ages. What kind of ginger ale? Like a good one or like a Canada Dry?
Well, they only sell pretty much Canada Dry up here is like the good one up here. The other stuff is like horrific. So
all right, well, all right. Enjoy your ginger ale.
Thank you.
So I will. Wait, did you see the UK saying there aren't racist? And there's no such thing as search? No, I didn't see that non-binary, but I mean, my thoughts on that.
That was about white.
Yeah, that's. Yeah, sure. Yeah, the UK, there aren't any racists. All right. So let me scroll back to the question, and so we can put it to the floor as it was written. Okay, wait. So you don't agree with about the rapist. What do you suggest then? I mean, for those that are consistently arguing about crime and justice, quote unquote, on crime and justice. So, Sue, I will throw it to you first.
Okay. So indigenous cultures have always had healing and restorative justice as a major key opponent. In that factor, with incumbent, or how do I put it? What?
Incumbent, I think.
No, like as in together with.
Combined in coordination with.
Yeah, like in coordination with a spiritual way of life and practice of looking at how to be a better human being. Yeah, we're encompassing the moments, or shall I say, incidents of rape crimes were very small and like extremely rare. Yeah, in conjunction.
There you go.
They were very rare. And if something did happen in that effect, we would then deal with it more in the focus of healing and restorative justice. So both parties, because in an action like that, you have two parties that are both in super need of healing. Because one, there's something going on that's not right with the person that commits the crime, that kind of crime. And two, it causes a whole lot of damage to the victim of said crime. So trying to build that out, and being that we understood that the community was super important, and the families, and it not only just did the two people involved, but it also affected the community. And what's that? That sounds exactly like What About the Rapist? Or the part
It's a book.
Just keep going, Sue.
So it not only just affects the two parties involved in the situation or incident, it also affects the community and both families. The family of the victim and the family of the perpetrator. So trying to maintain healing, being that every human being deserves the opportunity to heal. that every individual deserves the option and the availability and the chance to heal, is very important. And we have to, with how we've seen it, was we have to maintain a well-balanced society within that thought pattern and process in order to be able to maintain a social construct or society that was strong and united together and lived in harmony with everything around us. So these are what we look at as Indigenous people.
Oh, this is going to be fun.
Oh, Lord, look at this.
This will be fun.
Makarov 5565.
Adorable. I'm sure you've got something productive to contribute to the conversation, right? I'm sure that'll happen. Here is where I would step in. That idealized society doesn't exist. Sue's resolution is still a feasible resolution. I would argue the same point, that you need, some sort of reparative and restorative process, but you would also need a transformative process to overhaul the justice system from the ground up to start with. So if we're projecting forward into an anarchist situation, what you're going to be dealing with is generations of people who have been exposed to multiple layers of toxicity. And if you think that those power dynamics, if you think those inbuilt power dynamics are going to shift, even within a generation or two, say you manage to just sweep up a bunch of people in today's day and age and put them in a fucking compound, a bunch of things are still going to continue down for a couple of generations. It's just the way it is. So, okay, I guess. Well, Makarov, welcome. So, even if we could, we can't get back to that idealized society that Sue's talking about. We have to move forward. Now, we can take tools from that idealized society, and I think we should. I agree with Sue on these points. And I do think that eventually, many generations down the line, if you manage to keep this going correctly, that you would watch that number start to drop. You implement proper universal education, you implement proper mental health care access for the populace, you have prevalence and plethora of opportunities. You have, if you fix the, oh God help us, subsistence and material conditions of your society, and you actually have a fully functioning society, then you can start talking about these sort of restorative and reparative justice processes. Because the fact of the matter is you aren't going to fully eliminate this inclination. Rape happens in nature. It does.
I think that is just kind of like the default mode of being in nature.
Yeah. Consent isn't huge in the animal kingdom. Let's just put it that way. If you want an example of this, look into ducks. There's a literal evolutionary war going on between the male and female ducks. It's a whole fucking thing. So, taking this into account, understanding how human beings operate, then we need to start talking about, okay, what do you do with the unrepentant amongst us? And this is where society and the individual has the right to protect themselves comes into play. And so there's a percentage of this incidence that will be resolved immediately upon incidence. See, the individual has the right to protect themselves. All right? So a certain percentage of this, completely unable to predict that percentage, but once you start taking care of all of those other conditions, A percentage of this will resolve itself. Then you're left with another percentage that society has the right to protect itself. And so I hesitate to use the term such as jails or prison because it invokes a mental image for human beings in Western society that I don't intend to invoke, because that's not the version that we would be talking about. You need a space. Imagine a healing space. Imagine a hospital, right? Like, imagine a space in which you can give the care necessary to a person who clearly shows antisocial personality traits, who shows, levels of pathology that are dangerous not only to other individuals but society as a whole. You would need that space because at the end of the day, we are human beings. There is no way around this, and it will exist, and at least for the foreseeable future. And so you would have to create that space. Follow something like a Nordic model. Do we need to worry about? He's just
some crazy dude.
If the hammer comes down, just let me know first, because I want to crack it first.
Okay, fair enough. So
you spend so much time educating people sometimes before you do it. I want to have a turn at it.
Fair enough. Yeah. So I mean, that's my piece said. And yeah. I think that my problem with What About the Rapists is it was too idealistic. And I say this as an anarchist who understands that the foundational philosophy of anarchism is idealism. I just think it was positioned in a way that didn't take into account a whole host of power dynamics and societal norms, and it seemed to project forward in a manner that didn't take them into account, or at least sufficiently for my taste. That's all. Kat?
I haven't really read the book, so I can't critique it directly.
Well, just, What About the Rapists, Kat?
Well, I mean, it's just like, I guess the other angle that I'd also approach it from is that I think a big thing that we could do in terms of actually curbing it would be the abolition of gender. I think that's something. I think that's an angle that a lot of people forget about, is that the patriarchy as it stands kind of lets us dudes get away with a lot of shit, and it kind of encourages a lot of those hierarchies that make rape a little bit easier to just kind of slip by than sexual harassment, rape culture, rape. What's the fucking proper term? Is it rape culture? I don't fucking... You know what I'm talking about. Y'all motherfuckers have been around leftist spaces long enough for me to know. Okay? Y'all know what the fuck I'm talking about here. So I guess that's the only thing I'd really tack on to what you'd said. I don't know.
Yeah, I just...
like I said, a big part of my piece.
Yeah, I think that ultimately that the tools that Sue's culture and society would have used in a minute level of incidence could be super helpful, right? Don't get rid of those tools. Those are super useful tools. Bring those forward. But the nature of the society and the culture that we at present live in, it has to be taken into a greater account. And that's what I find oftentimes when anarchists discuss these sorts of things, is they gloss over that. And they ignore what would be, what's House say, growing pains. That sort of situation where it's you do realize there's a shit ton of maladjusted people walking around, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
If we set up the commune tomorrow, it's going to get weird.
Yeah.
So take that into account. There's my piece.
God damn, mister. You're doing me dirty here, son.
Yeah, and this is a lot of the times. This is what a lot of the things that I keep saying over and over again. And Kai has asked me time and time again. The brainwashing, we have to start working on decolonizing and removing that brainwashing that we've been bombarded with from the moment that we're born, and can start to understand and comprehend things. Brainwashing of this society that we live in at the present moment.
Can I make a suggestion?
Sure.
Where you use the term decolonize, use depropagandize. I think it may get past a couple of filters that you may run into from time to time. I think when talking to especially like a white North American sort of brain, I think that you may be able to like shook and jive around fucking some of that.
It gives you more wiggle room to work with.
Yeah, I think that may actually be a super productive lexicographic change for you. Give it a try. Just try it one of these days. If you've got somebody that you're trying to work on, sub out decolonize for depropagandize and see what it does.
Yeah, like literally advocate for like the exact same shit. Just use that phrase.
Literally just switch that word up. I think it may actually produce results for you. I don't know. Maybe it will make no difference. Maybe you'll run into more resistance. I don't know. It was just an idea. It's just a thought I had.
Yeah, like for me, I think like the broad appeal of it is you could cover more topics with it as well. Because you can like talk about like, the various wars that we're in. You could talk about the fucking...
Rabbit goes for deprogram, which is also if you wanted to tighten that up, rather than depropagandize, you could go with deprogram. I think that may be productive, but either way, continue what you were saying. Sorry.
No, it's because it takes a process of time to deprogram yourself from the bombardment of it.
Of course.
And how do I put this? How I usually say it is, or look at it and relate it to is, and understand it is through my own deprogramming. It all depends on the individual. So there are individuals that can deprogram themselves short and quickly and very successfully in a short period of time. And then there's individuals that may take for as long as they were programmed to deprogram themselves. So that's like, say you didn't wake up till like 30 years after being programmed. So it may take another 30 years for you to completely deprogram yourself. And then there are those that, for whatever reason, may take a lot longer. To put it as nicely as I can say, but
I'll say it. They're fucked. You're never changing their minds. There's a percentage. Sue is the hope springs eternal, ever optimists amongst us. There is a percentage that you're never going to reel back in. but for the purposes of his praxis, he has to believe that, and I respect that. So
yeah, I'm in the same boat. It's just that like basically the only difference between me and Sue is that like my faith in like the left's ability to actually do it is more so the problem than the belief itself.
Redacted. What is optimism? I respect that. Redacted. Yeah. So, love you too, Mister.
I think that when we're looking at it, for myself, and my people's culture and belief pattern and spiritual way of life and stuff and thought patterns, we have to not give up on hope. And looking at it as a form of understanding that people can change. It just takes a moment or the right instance or the right thing to transpire. For as many people as there is on the planet, that's about as many different instances or things that may happen or whatever, or a major incident in their life to really truly make that change, if that makes any sense.
Yep. I just wanted to correct Swamp Fox, who said nobody is brought up thinking rape is okay as a cultural norm. That's dumb. I hate to be the bearer of bad news, Swamp. There are like multiple locations on this planet.
Rape is just legal, like
Yeah.
here in the States.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking the first thing that sprung to mind was the bride kidnapping.
Oh yeah, that's all over that's been all over Latin America, Central Asia,
The Romani in Europe, the Hmong in Asia, like they literally just kidnap a woman, and well, you can imagine what consummating that marriage is like. So there's there's entire cultures.
Like in the U.S., like spousal rape was like kind of like normalized. Child marriages, like that's sort of, like that shit isn't like we're not far removed from that.
Yeah.
At all.
Just
I'll use a pointed factor. The Indian hunters never left, and Indian hunters were famous for raping indigenous women and girls. They were famous for it. It was part of their usual routine, alongside of cutting off the woman's tits and the men and the elders and young boys' ball sacks for tobacco pouches.
Kinky.
Yep.
It was a government paid sanctioned thing. Just saying. And they never left, which is where we look at today the question mark of, yes, I did, skeptic.
Wait, Swamp Fox, no, like you're just kind of wrong. Like there's a bunch. I mean, dude, look at how many people come to bat for like all these like type of like what's it called? Like just rapists and like media and shit. Whenever it like happens, like we are definitely not removed from like rape's kind of okay. Like that's not a like controversial position in many places in the world, including here in the States.
Swamp Fox. If you look at history, it puts right into to 21st century. It all goes into it. And yes, the Indian hunters is culture, white culture. Sorry, and I really don't want to get this. Okay, I'm not going to deal with it.
Take a deep breath. Step back. Take a deep breath.
Swamp Fox, when like, I don't know, like who's like a guy that's been like convicted of rape recently? Like a celebrity.
Bill Cosby.
Someone else, someone a little less controversial, because he got like universally shit on. There are some people where it's like, is it really rape though? I mean, she was 16. There are some like we can point to plenty of edge. R. Kelly's a perfect one. Like, yeah, dude, fucking like harassed like a, like fucking pissed on a child. Totally walks free. Some people just think it's cool. There was a there was like that famous line of, if she didn't want to get pissed on, she would have moved out of the way. Well, he did get shit on, but like this idea that like rape is just like universally condemned like everywhere in the world is just like fantasy.
And by the way, all right.
Yeah, that's the other part of it too. It's like there are people immediately like that there's still like plenty of jokes like, if she liked it, then it's not really rape, or like what was she wearing. That's still a thing.
Let's all step back, take a breath, and fucking like realize, all right, nobody here to, but also we've been gendering our rape unnecessarily.
That's the other way too. We know that it's like mostly guys and shit.
Yeah. Let's understand also that while there may be actually, if you wanted to make this argument successfully,
Google fucking.
Yeah, if you wanted to make this argument successfully,
fuck you.
You would degender your argument.
Fuck you. History has a very much effect on today's society and the life we live in and the way we look at things. And if you don't fucking understand that, you're too fucking dumb.
Sue, breathe. You're getting riled up. No need for it. Look, Whiskey, Thank you for the 3-month resub, fucking, and welcome back. Jesus Christ, my contacts have been just slipping out of place left and right tonight. All right, let me try and.
I'm just gonna have to keep it real with you, dog. You're just gonna need like, maybe you spend too much time in like lefty spaces, but like seriously, like head to like, I don't know, where are you in the States?
Wait, who are we talking to?
Swamp Fox.
Oh, he's East Coast.
East Coast? Really?
Yeah, he's like northeast. I'm thinking like upstate New York, something like that.
Well, that's what I'm fucking saying. It's like he should know some of these fuckers we're talking about. As a Republican 3 months ago, okay, well then, dude, I don't know what to tell you, son. There are a lot of Republicans that like are definitely cool with like harassing women and shit, and like, you know, like rape, like just like, I don't know, like, dude, have you not seen like this whole like the backlash against things like Me Too and shit? There are definitely a bunch of dudes who like want to just like harass women and shit, and like coerce them into sex and think it's cool. How is that not a culture? It's grab her by the yeah, exactly. It's locker room talk, Rabbit.
Hey, RV, thank you for the gift sub and congratulations, Zippy. According to the rules of anarchism, you are now an anarchist because that's how it works. Hey, Alex Jones, Flabby Bits. You know what? Fucking, I'm gonna do it myself.
Ladies and gentlemen, Alex Jones here for Proudly Radical. Since I owe Kai a few favors from back in the old days... shit, I probably shouldn't talk about that. Wait, why are you still recording? Fine, just be sure to edit it out. Anyways, as I was saying, this is Alex Jones, and I just wanted to teach the proletariat a few things about anarchism. Anarchism isn't about chaos. In fact, it's quite the opposite. Anarchism is about the people. It's about solidarity and mutual aid. It's about removing unjust authority and hierarchies. We should all be anarchists. The world would be a better place. Now, I'm going to apologize again to all those parents whose lives I ruined because I'm such a douchebag. Jones, out. All right, Kai, this has got to make us even for that incident you helped me out with.
Welcome to the channel, Alex Jones, Flabby Bits. Oh, I mean, Jesus Christ, Makarov. You're quite welcome. You're quite welcome, Flabby Bits.
Lifestyle, maybe, culture, no. I don't get it. If there's like broad acceptance among like a large group of people, where it's like, you know, like how is that not a culture? Like it's a right-wing culture, it's Republican culture, you know, like you can slap a label on, like, you know, come on. Saying that there's like a percent of like saying that we don't have a Christian culture because there's a percentage of atheists is kind of like fucking stupid, if I'm like understanding your argument correctly.
Makarov, can you please stop whipping your dick out on stream and attempting to measure it in front of all of us? It's kind of cringe. It's not kind of, it's super cringe. And quite frankly, it's just a little distasteful.
It just feels kind of sad.
Yeah, it's just like, what level of inadequacy do you have? Like, it feels like you're just trying to prove something to yourself.
Yeah.
It's kind of,
yeah. Like it's very obvious. You have like a massive chip on your shoulder.
I feel like he's gonna drop the link to his pyramid scheme next.
Yeah, that's kind of the vibe I'm getting too. Like he's gonna try to sell something.
Flabby Bits, I like the cut of your jib.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying, Rabbit. It's just like if his like the reason why it's not a culture is because like not everybody is like universally in favor of it, then it's like, do we not have a capitalistic culture because there's anti-capitalists? Is there not, like, where does the line get cut off, you know? This is a pretty strange direction, Skeptic. I don't fucking know, son.
So go to kaisthings.com to get your real men take protein powder. You can get it on subscription for only $79.95 every 2 weeks. Super affordable. It wards off the mind control rays from the 5G and the secret Jewish satellite space lasers that could potentially set you on fire. It'll protect you from that as well. Also, it will come with a super secret ticket that will get you into the End Times bunker, where we have prepared everything that you need for when the radical socialist, leftist, communist Joseph Biden releases the lizard people upon the planet, and we can wait it out there until rapture happens, and then I will join you alongside Jehovah in heaven. Again, only $79.95 every 2 weeks. Required 36-month subscription. Just saying. So yeah.
Fox, you're gonna need to define what culture is, because I think we're all using. I think you're like the only one using the definition that you're proposing.
Do you have forced feminization products? I mean, I will be slipping estrogen into the powder, secretly. But I mean, again, I'm not going to admit that on the stream, of course. You ever notice how extremely successful and rich people spend time continuing doing that and not bragging about what they have or do? Feels like a homie is about to say he's been trying to get a hold of you about your car's extended warranty.
If there's a racist culture in the Republican Party, how is there not a rape culture or a culture of homophobia? Like, come on, or toxic masculinity. Like, we can go down the list. Like,
Rabbit.
Swamp Hun, you can't have it. Why can I always? I can hear this motherfucker reading these things or typing them out, dude.
But wait, I mean, okay, so I haven't invested in this conversation at all, to be quite frank, but the right defends rape due to bias, but wouldn't the right have a subculture of their own? Is there not a right-wing subculture? And due to their inherent biases, would that not play into or at least be a component or a staple of their subculture, thus making their culture one that has proclivities towards rape or rape apologia, at least, just by extension?
At minimum, it's just like that. That's kind of what I'm saying. It's just like that. Wouldn't that bias constitute like a culture?
You, how are you holding up over there, Sue?
I'm okay.
All right. Just wanted to. I don't want you to get your blood pressure up. That's all, my man. I want you to, I don't want you to stroke out on a stream.
Well, that's not true either, Swamp Fox. Because, like you could find things as bad, and that would be like part of a culture.
Wait, Swamp Fox, didn't you just say earlier that you live in the here and now, and that history has no effect on the here and now whatsoever? But then you just sit there and say culture is something that you're taught to you as something okay and tradition. Oh, wait, that would mean history affects today. Ooh, bing. Sorry, buddy. You may consider the weakest nigga.
Makarov, you need to look up Calvinism. You have been a victim of it without your even knowing. Congratulations.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly, skeptic. I'm glad you're in a better place, Makarov. I'm glad you're in a better place. But the fact of the matter is that you were a victim of your circumstances. You are a victim of society. And congratulations, you didn't engage in victimhood. You picked yourself up by your own bootstraps and all of that bullshit. But the truth of the matter is that you were oppressed, you were coerced, you were taken advantage of, and now you are advocating for a system that would perpetuate that cycle upon someone else.
Wait, you
It's not a
teach
good
history.
look.
Hey, Rabbit, you teach history, or a form of history.
Why would a stream that is run by an anarchist innately give you the ability? I mean, you have the ability to say the N-word, Turret. Yes, you can do that. But it will come with consequences.
Yeah.
Oh my God, the straw man about Native Americans? Dude, are you trying to tell me you're a racist piece of shit? Because if you are, I'm just gonna fucking call it right now and get the fuck out. I don't give a shit whatever your fucking bullshit is, dude. Fuck off.
Boss.
Fuck right off.
Don't worry, we got a couple mods in chat, plus me too. And Automod will probably grab whatever iteration that they're looking to use.
I just don't want to know. I just want to know why. Like what?
Well, I mean, that's...
obviously it's just to make people mad, but it's just like, I don't get it.
You do realize, again, Makarov, you're not making the point you think you're making.
Also, what the fuck are you doing on here if you work for the Department of Defense? Holy shit, dude. Where is your life gone? Like, that means you would have been somebody, Makarov.
Why
Like,
do Turret? Why do you so desperately feel the need to say the N-word? Is my question to you. Why is that your driving force? That you're just like, the only thing I need in my life is to scream the N-word. What does that say about you? What does that even matter?
Yeah, that's the thing, Turret, is like, this is a community effort here. It's not, we're not like a central authority telling you, like, you know, like, gonna like, I don't know, like take away your ability to say it. We're all just gonna like get like pissed off at it and like tell you to shut the fuck up.
Like,
You know what I mean?
like, it seems that you're a little broken in the head.
Like, we don't have to like it just because you
so you just want to be a troll. Well, in that case,
okay, well that's
I'm gonna
you're
ignore
finding
you.
out what's
I'm
gonna
just gonna do what I do to trolls, and I'm going to ignore you now. So good
Very
luck,
cool.
God bless, or whatever the fuck you may or may not believe in. Yes, exactly, exactly,
I
skeptic.
can say it. It's just like, you know, you can say it. Your lips and tongue and teeth are more than capable of like making the sounds that make it happen. It's just, you know, fuck around and find out. Society is a hierarchy be damned. Well, I mean, you're not wrong. That is like an anarchist line of thinking. Some anarchists, at least.
Yeah, I mean, a few.
Yeah, that they do think that. Not all of them, but they do.
Wait. Swamp Fox, you claim you teach history. Do you believe that indigenous people were dumb and uneducated? Is that your belief pattern? That we have nothing intelligent at all to offer in any way, shape, or form? Because if you do, because your comments are definitely pointing down that road, and in which case, yes, then you are a racist and you need to check yourself.
Fair enough, Birdie.
Hey, what Birdie say?
Be right back. Have to pee. Just thought I'd announce it. You're welcome.
I didn't consent to participating in this.
See? That's
you talk and stream
Turret.
history all the time.
Should I allow it? I kind of want to allow it.
No, I'm just gonna let Automod do what Automod does. I've got it on the lowest setting possible.
See, but it's a soft A. You know, just it's the It's the soft A, people. Can we allow that? Can we do the? Is the soft A okay, people? Come on. You know what? I'm gonna make a poll.
Fair enough, Birdie.
Well, no, RV. He's sitting there talking about indigenous cultures are dumb.
He did not.
And it has nothing to do with fucking the conversation that we're having. And that history of a culture of indigenous people is just a dumb take to be had on this whole entire subject that we were just talking about.
He did not say that, and that is a mischaracterization. I'm looking at his chat transcript right now.
Yeah, I feel like I lost the thought here a little bit.
No, I'm looking at the chat history. That is a blatant
the
mischaracterization of Swamp Fox's statements.
Guillotine, the N-word.
All right.
Oh, you fuckers are no fun.
You got.
We got
Oh,
one.
that was
We
you,
got
and
one.
just
Very
that was
cool.
you. Admit it.
No, it wasn't me. I just voted no. We got 2. I'm one of 2 people. Come on, you cowards. Come on.
All right.
What the fuck?
Here are the rules.
Yes.
If anybody starts yelling, you included, Sue, I'm disconnecting everybody that can't walk into on air on their own. Fair?
You could have just
Fair.
said that I would be allowed to say, Kai. Just admit that we all do nepotism.
We all do nepotism. Because I know Kat won't be the one to start yelling. So, here's the deal. Say your piece, Swamp, because you've been in chat, you've been having to defend yourself via text rather than. Everyone on here has to hydrate. And then we'll allow for response, and we'll have a productive conversation. But again, anybody flies off the handle, it's done for everybody, not just one. So, Swamp, what do you have to say?
What I have to say is I feel like everybody in here has been committed to misunderstanding to me. If you actually read my messages, you would see that, hey, I may be wrong. I wrote that in there. This is how I perceive the word culture or the definition of culture. I know I may have thrown the word "you guys are dumb" in there. That's fine. But to accuse me of racism is just like grossly misunderstanding me. And it's
Actually,
kind of
what
sad.
you said verbatim was "don't be dumb." So, I
That's
mean,
fair.
it wasn't even that accusatorial. It was just "don't be dumb." So.
But the accusations of racism are just completely ridiculous. I mean, if that's what you have to say to shut me down because you don't have a good argument, then sure. But like I said, I'm open to a discussion about it.
And the poll concluded with cringe.
I shouldn't have put that in there. You know what? I'm gonna pull a reverse Uno card on chat. Cringe just means that they're allowed to say it, but you don't like it. There, boom. Fuck you guys. I win. I win at all times.
So there is a point of contention that your definitional understanding or your working definition of culture is malformed. Would you be willing to update your definition of culture?
Sure. So like personally, here's my definition. I'm not gonna dictionary.com because I know copy and paste is cringe. So my definition of culture is basically something you are taught or it's learned behavior that this is okay, this is not. Tradition falls into that based on where you live or where you grow up.
Amorous.
RV, why do you gotta do me like that? Cause, come on, why, RV, come on, dude. You got it. Oh, that hurts. That stings.
Estrella, for sure. For sure.
Is Sue even here, actually?
Yeah, Sue's still here.
Sitting right here.
I saw the circle go green a couple of times.
Okay, my bad. If I cut off the response, too.
I'm not responding yet. I'm allowing them the opportunity to just speak freely of where they're at. Because my arguments or my understanding or teaching or culture or history is very valid and has a lot of good things that I don't need to necessarily shut them down because I don't have a good argument. I do have a good argument. But
you called me racist until I joined the Discord.
well, because your comment is tended towards usually that follow that, which is a history thing. Usually when people start going and talking about other people being dumb, it's usually follows suit down that whole entire rabbit hole.
But I didn't do that at all. I just said I live in the here and now, and let's talk about the here and now. Something that happened 200 years ago is not the same.
Something that
as what's
happened
happening
200
today.
years ago has a direct effect on today and how things happen and how we look at things and how cultures and everything else. We'll take a prime example. When we look at the past 500 years over here on what's actually called Turtle Island and not North America or America at all, history is very clear in that factor on how what we have today with all this shit that we have today and how it's been a progress throughout time of bombardment of living this culture of this whiteness culture that makes every other race but white either subhuman or non-existent.
I'll agree with the whiteness argument, but like when it comes to like, obviously we're in 2021. 200 years ago is not the same as it is now. Can we at least agree on that? It's not the same. I'm saying almost every context. It is not the same as it was 200 years ago. 200 years ago, I could beat my wife and shoot people without getting any problems with the police or the government.
But you're not taking into consideration that at what is it? I think it's like 47% of the domestic violent crimes are committed by cops to their spouses that don't see a day in jail or any charges or anything. They still have their job.
That's another side argument. Like, obviously, cops need to go to jail for doing crimes just like everybody else. But the percentage of cops is a lot less than the community as a whole. We can agree on that, right?
No.
What?
No. This is a whole entire thing, dude. Like, seriously.
No, we can all agree that cops need to go to jail when they do something wrong, just like the rest of us, right?
Yes.
But I'm saying,
I'll agree with that.
Yeah, what I'm saying is the cops
because
represent a smaller percentage than the whole U.S. population. Maybe I'll reword it.
If I had to clarify Sue's point, and interrupt me if I'm wrong, Sue, the point that I believe that Sue's trying to make is that cops being able to get away with as much as they do may indicate a broader trend among like white Americans as a whole to be able to get away with things like domestic abuse, spousal rape, child abuse, so on and so forth.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cops are pieces of shit.
Well, no, what we're saying is that cops being able to get away with it may reflect upon the broader society as well.
Mm-hmm. Because we allow it. It's culturally acceptable. So it's been that way in history. They started off, the police force in the United States started off as the slave catchers.
Yes.
Well, half.
That is historical fact, and that still plays in today.
Half of them did.
Yeah.
The other half was labor busting.
Yeah, that as well. Yeah. Rabbit, what is fish sticks?
I'm just trying to figure out how I'm a racist person. And then I'm gonna go to bed.
Well, maybe you're not, and maybe I took it a little bit of the wrong way.
Yeah, like I hate cops too. I hate cops, okay? I freaking I love everybody. My culture is everybody love everybody, right? I just had a different experience throughout my life to shape the way that I felt the word culture meant.
Mm-hmm. And this is something that, if you have spent any time getting to know me, I talk about the factor that there are in Canada and the United States that there are two different worlds within it, and that there's a failure to be able to understand the history, um, and being able to build an actual common bond because there is such a huge gap between whiteness and people of color and what we have today in society that is a direct correlation to and an effect of the genocides and the slavery that colonizers have perpetrated since first contact.
That makes sense. I mean, Lasu, would you think differently about me if I told you I was like First Nation Cherokee? Would that make you feel differently?
No, because I have met some people that are indigenous that are completely brainwashed and literally believe that white supremacy is the only way.
Yeah, well, I was Republican until 3 months ago, and now I'm a libertarian socialist.
Mm-hmm. But are you a Cherokee by chance?
Yes, I have my blood paperwork and everything else I can show you if that's what you want to see.
No.
If we're gatekeeping Native Americanism.
I am not a gatekeeper of Native American, and anyone that knows me knows that. I don't rely upon white man's blood quantum as proof of evidence.
That makes sense.
So what I would say, and first things first, I want to apologize if I mistook what you said as a form of racism. My apology.
No worries, man. Like, I was just, I had a different point of view on what the word culture meant to me specifically, and I also said y'all dumb and a bunch of other shit. So I'm not the unguilty party here. Like, I just didn't feel great about being called a racist, and literally maybe I was being read wrong, but I just don't like that shit. Like, we got enough problems to worry about.
So I want to say suggestion because I don't like to say advice because advice means it's just, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So my suggestion is, being that you are stepping away from the genocidal brainwashing that has transpired upon indigenous people with residential schools and all this other shit, kill the Indian, save the child programs, you might want to go and learn your people's history and culture. And that might help you along your path and journey.
Sure, man. But anyhow, Proudly, or Kai, thanks for having me on. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for letting me talk here. I gotta go to bed. It's like 6 in the morning here.
Sleep well.
Appreciate you guys.
Take care of yourself.
Sleep well, Swamp.
Hey, you too. Have a good one.
Well, that happened. That was anticlimactic.
See, I can be anticlimactic. See.
Well, I just wanted to keep having the rape culture discussion because I feel like they got lost, and I felt that that I don't even know where the racism came from either.
I may have jumped the gun because usually when someone starts talking about people being dumb and stuff like that, when they're talking about indigenous history, or those words start to come together, maybe not strung in the same thing, but in coalition or repetitiveness of it, usually falls in the lines of someone's getting to the point of factor of some racist comment comes out. Do you know what I mean? But I am also fully prepared and willing and have enough honor and integrity that if I am wrong, that I can admit that I'm wrong on something.
Keilada. I'm just gonna guess that's how you say it.
Oh, it's
Maybe
an
around
O.
the past,
It's
what if everybody-
Ouallada.
What?
It's an O, not a Q.
Oh, so would that be Olada?
Yeah.
Oyada? I don't.
I mean,
fucking-
it depends if it's Hispanic or not, as to whether we
can't
go with the ya over the la.
Okay. Either way, what if everybody, including Swampy, is a racist because we grew up in a racist world? I think. What's it called? I think denying that is like stupidly problematic. Like anyone trying to deny that they're like somewhat racist is like just like at that point, like do you even like believe in material conditions? Do you believe in societal influences?
I just
Like,
wanna piss off a bunch of tankies and say something about mainland China.
I just say it. It's just like, you know.
If we're gonna talk about material conditions and racism, then I just fucking there's something there.
I'm just saying, like every one of us has to be influenced by our society to some point or another, and we live in a pretty fucking racist, sexist, so on and so forth world. Like we live in a very bigoted fucking place. If you like, we all hold those biases at some level or another. It's literally unavoidable. It's just how human psychology works.
I mean, I for one can't stand fucking people from New Hampshire.
I fucking despise French Canadians, and fucking Kai can vouch for that. That is a very consistent one for me.
But that's just because I'm a it's just because I'm a Vermonter, and you know, fuck them. It's just tradition.
I'll introduce myself as Whiskey. Hi
Oh,
Kai.
shit.
Hi Lasu.
Hey, Whiskey.
Lasu. And
Hey, Whiskey.
Castillo. I agree with you to an extent, but to the point of like, I can't agree with like original sin to where you come from. I
What do
don't
you
know
mean?
if that makes sense to you. Like saying you're from a certain region and then like you associate that person with that belief or red state, blue state kind of deal.
Nice, Estrella. Viva, I think people that invented deep dish pizza are insane. Sandman agrees with the whole fucking, stuck between New Hampshire and French Canada thing. Like, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Look, here's the long and short of it. Whatever the fuck that conversation was, whatever it became, whatever it evolved into, or devolved into, I should say, became
We lost the plot.
ideally or wholly unproductive. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna leave that behind us. We're gonna move forward in temporal space, and we're just gonna leave that stuff back there. So let's see. I just want to see where chat goes. Deep dish is just casserole. Yes, Rabbit. Deep dish pizza is not pizza. It is a casserole. 100% agree. 100% fucking agree. No, Swan Fox. I'm not in the least. There is nobody crossed any lines as far as I'm concerned of. No one is guilty of shit as far as I care. Like, do not worry for a moment. Yeah, I'm just
for me, I
pushing
just-
the narrative forward because I'm bored of it, quite frankly.
Yeah.
You stole the name from a book, so no idea how you pronounce it. Thought the part of the story was fun many moons ago. Might need a new name, but naming myself is hard. Uyada then. I'm going with Uada.
I'm just gonna Google it and see what comes up.
Yeah. Yeah. No worries. Amorous. Hey, I like a good margarita. All right, like I know what proper pizza is.
I think it might be Arabic, so it might be pronounced Walada. I don't know, dude. Where the fuck did you find this?
I just want to say, Swampbox, no worries, man. It's all good. All good.
I'm sorry if this
We're
is.
gonna let it all go. We've come to an understanding and an agreement, and did
That was in the past. We're
a
moving.
human thing, and that's the past.
Pineapple on pizza
One
is
of them
fine
now.
if you have ham. Otherwise, pineapple on pizza is pointless.
No, pineapple is a Canadian thing on pizza.
Yeah, but you need
Although they
ham.
call it a Hawaiian pizza, but
Usually that has ham on it.
mhm.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm saying. As long as it has ham on it, you're fine. But just pineapple on the pizza, that's weird. Neapolitan? Yeah, I look. I back when I ate pizza, it would be either pizza margarita or pepperoni mushroom. Those are the two. Either we're going like handcrafted fucking, volcanic ash grown tomatoes and fresh like like a buffalo mozzarella and like a fresh basil leaves, that sort of thing, or we're going pepperoni mushroom. So either super
Pepperoni.
traditional or what I like.
Pepperoni bacon mushroom means you're hailing from Canada.
Well, there's also a very big, strong love of all meat pizzas up here.
Oh
in
yeah.
Canada. So that's why they call it meat lovers on our menus up here. So
Yes, sir.
Who is this?
Hawaiian, also a Canadian invention.
Poutine is
Yeah.
solid.
poutine
I
is
like
like
Frenchies though.
Skip
All dressed
poutine.
chips
poutine
and
pizza
ketchup
would be
chips.
like in Quebec.
all dressed chips are solid. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I can get behind for sure. And poutine is a solid creation.
Mars bars and coffee crisp are also great.
Lomo saltado. We're gonna go south of the border because the poutine kicked it off because of the French fries. It's a Peruvian dish. I've recommended it before on stream. You can also go lomo del pollo. But lomo saltado is definitely the way I would go. It's
Yeah, skeptic.
it's French fries. You basically fry up some French fries. You sear off some steak, cut that up, toss that in a pan with some onions, tomatoes, cilantro, soy sauce, and you toss in the French fries at the last minute, and you just toss that up, and you serve it with a green chili sauce. It's a solid fucking dish. It's got that whole Peru has a whole weird mix of cultures going on down there, and it's really good for the food. You forget, Swamp, that potatoes are indigenous to that region. That's where they're from.
Yeah, boy.
Yep. Alright, Kvass. Let's see. Placing calorie unit type of potato. Oh, big cheese. Lomo saltado. Himself.
Yeah, I'll spell it out in chat.
Oh,
Is there a direct translation for that?
I forgot what saltado means.
Oh, that's the meat. It's the Lomo that I'm not. And back.
Oh,
Oh, like, yeah, well, there you go. Salted back.
Let's see. The West stole potatoes and died when they first tried to make food out of it. Yeah, and like I said, you can do it with chicken. You know, you want to do, lomo pollo. Go for it.
mix up the prospects of equality. What?
Wait, what?
Later, Zippy. Take care of yourself.
going on?
Thanks for stopping by. Nice to see you.
See you, Zippy.
Fucking spins.
Rough swamp bugs.
Yeah, get the spins. That's a bitch. Always a bitch with the spins. Let's see.
Sometimes water, drinking lots of water and some coffee intermixing with that also kind of helps with it a bit. But
Sometimes you just have to hang on and pray that you don't get spun off the face of the earth into space.
Yeah.
yeah.
1 foot on the floor always helps.
That is weird that does work.
Yeah. Helps ground you and
Is that like some inner ear shit?
That's the thing is it does the spins do come from a disruption of the balance system. So yeah, it is very much a
Gotcha.
sometimes drinking less helps.
Obviously.
true that.
All right, so okay. Oh, by the way,
God.
Ross
Talking about-
Ross Winton, this I don't know what Bishop's on about. I've been ignoring them the entire time because they just seem wacky as shit.
I just noticed like his last 3 messages and I'm just confused.
Yeah, they're all over the place. I don't know what their fucking deal is, but I've just been ignoring them while they've been on a fucking like a roll. Pop out their fucking message history. It's fucking just all over the place. You're like, what in the hell is wrong with this person? Ross Winton on Twitter took a bunch of fucking photos from the SpaceX rocket launch that it didn't go exactly as planned, shall we say. Scattered debris all over the fucking place. He tweeted out, "It's fine, SpaceX. I'll just reschedule my field work until next year again because I can't drive down a state highway or the state beach. It's only public land and critical habitats you just showered with rocket parts."
Nice.
There's a bunch of endangered and migratory species that he studies in the area. And yeah, they basically just fucked it all. Thanks, Elon.
Every time I just want to know, like,
Bishop, I'm almost 40. So you know.
Now, is that debris purely metallic, or does that carry some radioactivity?
Oh, no, there's no radioactivity, but, I mean, there definitely could be fuel contamination. Yeah, if it didn't all burn off. Yeah.
Can I just say, thank you, Bishop, for giving Kai a compliment of looking younger than his actual age. That's very sweet of you.
Yeah.
Aww.
And if you're wondering, Bishop, because I see what you're going after, if this is the line of inquiry you're after, I have been practicing and advocating and organizing anarchistically since, well, I mean, I've been an anarchist technically most of my life. Definitely since the teen years, I was an anarchist and active in those spaces. I've been organizing since my 20s, and I've been studying anarchistic theory since like mid-20s. So I'm like decades in at this point. So do I see myself shifting my perspective in 5 to 7 years? No. In fact, all I see is maybe adding a political science degree or two on top of this knowledge that I have garnered, on top of the experience as an organizer. So, yeah. No. I'm not going to grow out of it. It's not a phase, Dad.
That's funny.
I always love those people. They're some of my favorite ones that are like, you know, you'll grow out of it, or you know, you're still young, or you know, when you turn 30, you'll grow up. When you turn 40, you'll grow. It's always my favorite fucking thing.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Actually, did you vote for Trump? Just morbid curiosity. I just want to know.
Maybe at the rise of a niche, you're sounding like nerding out, but been working 72 plus hour weeks. Yes, Corey, I grabbed it today. Killing is easy, right? Super fucking all right. Like I was listening to a Cellar broadcast because they do an XM broadcast out of the Cellar. And they were talking about the documentary and a bunch of people who had experiences with Patrice. So it is on my to-do list for sure. Yeah, fucking Corey knows what's up. Hey, Dim Fool. Brian C. Theory. You only grow out of being conservative. Shit, I'm barely over 40. I'm pretty certain I'm never growing up. You have to grow old. You don't have to grow up.
Yeah, just on Fox.
You're weird. I'm looking at this chat history, and it's just so strange. Anyway,
I think he's just drunk.
I'm guessing. Bishop, have you been drinking tonight?
Because it just this is incoherent to me.
Yeah, there is a lack of coherence. Oh, wait.
Yeah, I got Vodofoduski. I don't know about him though.
I don't speak Russian, but do you think all anarchistic theory is derived from Kropotkin and Bakunin? Do you think that there have been no anarchist theorists who worked in native English? Do you think that there is no anarchistic theory that has been laid to page in the last 30 years even? Do you think all anarchistic theory is derived from Russian princes?
Who's him? If not you, who's him?
I think he was talking about me because I replied just as a joke. Also, no, Astrea, I'm not Russian. Kai can attest.
Hey, Estimite. You're drunk, aren't you, right, Bishop? Bishop, are you non-native English speaker or are you drunk? I'm going to need you to answer that question for me so I can contextualize what I'm dealing with here. Because otherwise, you just seem a little 3 degrees off. Let's just put it that way.
Okay, Casual Cupcake. I know this is probably the worst place to bring it up, but honestly, I would hesitate in like supporting the left flank vets. They run in a strange crowd.
I like them. To be honest myself, Kat, I like them.
Some of them engage in kind of irresponsible behavior.
I don't know anybody that left flank actually hangs out with. Like, I just know, like, left flank. Like, that's...
One of them was involved with that savvy chick that kicked off, like, the harassment to Merrick.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. They follow me. That person follows me on Twitter, and I don't know how to feel about it.
I don't know. I like Marcus. Marcus has always been cool with me.
Marcus seems cool. Like, there are people in there that are cool, but like as a group, they don't really vet well, is what I'm saying.
But if somebody is a vet, I mean, and looking to find other veterans that are at least on the left, for the most part, I can't speak for all of them, but I can safely say there's a big, huge portion of it that is on the left.
I'm not saying that's not a bad place to like meet veterans. What I'm saying is that they like as a platform, they're a bit irresponsible.
I don't know what to say about that, Kat. Maybe I'm biased because I really like Marcus and stuff. So.
I don't hang out there, so I don't know anything about them.
Well, for me, is I don't hang out there, but I just follow their like people enough to know that some of them have been like kind of shady.
Yeah. No. Cupcake, fucking ask whoever you gotta ask.
I
Like,
go
for
it.
sure. Yeah.
I was just it was just morbid curiosity. Trust me, I think it's cringe to hold your feet to the fire for that.
What's the
But
criteria?
for being a vet, well, having, I guess, serving,
Yeah.
like, you know, I feel like that, even if it's like briefly, you know.
I think I'm probably, I can't speak for all of them, but I do know I have brought up the conversation of how veteran seems to be only given to those who serve in the like United States Army, where veteran would be basically really truly classified as anyone who served in a war.
Oh.
And there are a plethora of indigenous veterans in past and present that did not join the U.S. military, but are still warriors and veterans none the same, or nonetheless, I should say.
I'm just really curious about this latest fucking comment by this weirdo.
What, Bishop, dude?
Yeah.
It's like non-native for like.
That is
who?
that's a Jeopardy reference. So that's literally like, you know, I mean, that's an English language American reference point, right? As far as idioms go.
Okay. But to be fair, that show's like literally everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what the fuck he's talking. I kind of just want him on VC now. Like, I just want
Hey,
to hear.
Bishop, do you want to get on voice chat?
Oh, God.
Yeah, like, let's talk.
I'm curious too. Like, yeah, it's morbid curiosity time.
You know, time for curiosity to kill the cat. Heyo.
Yeah. Want to get on the air?
I just want to know what the fuck. Yeah. Does Left Flank Vets gatekeep non-US vets? I think so.
I don't think so.
Do we?
Like, I go in there and I am considered, by all intents and purposes, a veteran.
Do I?
My own people, but
Do I think I was indoctrinated into anarchism? By who? Like,
I still want them in voice chat.
by the United States government? By Western society? Like, who's indoctrinating me into anarchism? Are you fucking... Oh my god.
Estrella is the one that indoctrinated you.
Oh, the Grand Supreme Order of Anarchists. Exactly, Estamite. Like, talk about not knowing up from down. Like, holy fuck.
RV did. The anarchist fairy.
It's fucking... Yeah, we got tons of volunteers. Yeah, sorry. It's okay, Astray. Nothing to apologize for. I'm happy you indoctrinated. Like... Oh, I've got, for bad jokes. I just astounding. Yes, I actually came upon these ideologies of my own volition due to the spaces I inhabited, due to my political leanings, due to my intellectual curiosity. No one forced anarchism upon me. Who? Find me a single anarchist who was indoctrinated into anarchism. Just one. Find me one.
I can find you countless of people that were indoctrinated into colonization.
Oh, you know what? I'm going fairy. First in on the vote.
Oh, we got 2 in on the ferry.
Fucking
Fuck it. I'm going in fairy too.
Oh no. Okay.
Telling you.
We got one for Estrella.
Oh, we went, yeah, Estrella, that darn rap music, some Russian dude. Well, more for Estrella. Oh, we got more Russian dude. Oh, more for Estrella. But we still got holding 10 at, Estrella's gaining ground.
Harry is holding strong, son.
Well, Estrella's gaining ground. That's, Estrella's gaining ground on a fucking ferry. Bishop is leaving. Oh, Bishop. We wanted you on voice chat. You seemed so interesting and so invested in who indoctrinated me into anarchism. Here, on your way out, Bishop, this is for you. Bishop, just for you.
What you just said is one of the most insanely idiotic things I have ever heard. At no point in your rambling, incoherent response were you even close to anything that could be considered a rational thought. Everyone in this room is now dumber for having listened to it. I award you no points, and may God have mercy on your soul.
Just for you, Bishop. Dumbest fucking thing I've heard all night. That's gonna be great. All right, how's it coming? Oh, let's see what we got. Maybe a good time to pull your Discord if you do on the show. Corey, yeah, there's tons of alerts that go out. There's in the comments, there's a notification that goes out when I go live. There's a notification on Twitter that goes out when I go live simultaneously with the Discord, and of course there's the Twitch notification. But thanks for looking out, Corey.
Come on, Bishop, get on in here. Don't just sit there and chat and talk.
Come on, don't be a coward.
Estrella just got another vote.
Rock on.
Come on.
Good night, Swamp. Enjoy your Pornhub browsing and sleep well.
Sleep well, Swamp. And remember, water and food and coffee are your best friends when you're spinning.
Bishop, you're gonna love this. If you're one of the God people, I'm an ordained minister and have been for 17 years. You're absolutely gonna love it. Yeah.
Okay, it looks like the Anarchist Fairy is the one that did Jing Kai.
Yay! Anarchist Fairy! I didn't quote God. It was a Billy Madison fucking quote. Jesus Christ. Like, if multiple people in chat pointed out it was Billy Madison. And by the way, oh my God, you are dumb as sticks. Get on air. I have to talk to you, Bishop. I will send you a Discord invite. Get the fuck on air. I have to know what is behind that just dense fucking, like, lead-like exterior.
I'm getting Eastern European. It's my official guess.
I am... We need to speak to you. You are so random, so weird. I have to know.
People need to know. Oh fuck! It looks like he might actually do it.
I have my own questions for anarchism, but I can wait till
shoot. Ask away. Oh no. They are secondary at this point. They're tertiary, quaternary.
Yeah, we're just memeing.
I will happily send you an invitation though. Let me do a temporary one.
An infrared and bitch out and hide from Kai for a conversation.
Oh, he actually came in.
Did he?
Yeah, yeah. Apparently, who was it that fucking was it? Boom! It was somebody. Bishop, check your whispers. There's a Discord invite waiting for you, and I look forward to hearing about how you're having technical difficulties and that sort of thing. Either way, Whiskey, what are your questions?
I guess my main question is like, the optics of anarchism, about how it's portrayed in like film. Because before I found your channel, the only exposure I had to anarchism was like that classic British anarchy in the UK, Mohawk in film kind of aesthetic. And it's like, where did that come from? And it's like, is that part of it, or is it?
Well, the punk rock scene of the late 70s to the mid 80s had a huge anarchistic influence that created and fomented a whole host of bands, ideologies, lyrics, thought processes. So punk music very much was inspired and sort of like ran parallel to anarchism to a certain degree. And so the punk rock aesthetic became associated and also helped spread anarchism globally. If you go to the Philippines, anarchism still holds the punk rock aesthetic there because they were introduced to anarchism by punk music. And so it is very much intertwined in the Philippines to this very day. But that's where that comes from, is that a bunch of fucking punk rockers basically in the 80s are rocking Anarchy A's and shouting about anarchy in the UK and shit like that. And so that's where that entered into the mainstream media as far as an aesthetic goes.
Okay.
Yeah, it didn't just come from nowhere. It's not that's not the propaganda campaign that just happened.
Well, the way it's portrayed in film, it seems like almost like a, I don't know if a rebellion, whereas like the anarchist lifestyle seems so much different than what's like in film.
Oh, well, yeah, no, I mean for a lot of people it was just like kind of some white boy shit. Like, for lack of a better word, like it was just like, you know, bunch of angry teens just getting together.
How many times has Hollywood accurately represented something?
I suppose, yeah.
There you go. I'm sure Sue probably has a word or two about Hollywood representation. You know, they're not...
Dude, is it just me or did you screw it up?
They're not too concerned with accuracy. So... yes, and fuck Thatcher. I don't know, whoever whose day is it to make sure that they replace the garlic on her grave just to make sure that bitch never comes back. But yeah. What anarchist experiments do you subscribe mostly towards, or are you more of an idealist? Clarify a little better, rewrite your question, something like that. I am more than happy to answer it, but what specific, like what area of experiments are you talking about and that sort of thing? I just need more details in your question. Any other questions, Whiskey?
Just a question for Sue. The origin of your name, is that from Sioux Lookout in Ontario, or is that from Manitoba?
Well, I'll explain it like this. The origin of Sioux comes from a French slang, and it was a derogatory slang for my people.
Okay.
So we still have looked and have claimed back we have claimed it and said, well, you want to use it as a derogatory, we're going to turn around and claim it and say, fuck you. And use it into a more positive light frame. Now, the lost part of that comes into play that I am from Sitting Bull's tribe, and I am the percentage of the tribe that stayed up here in Canada rather than went back to the States with Sitting Bull when he went back.
Okay. So I wasn't aware that Sioux was a slur or like a negative or had a negative connotation.
Yeah.
Most of the term.
Is there a translation for what that means in English, or no?
I think there is. I just can't remember it off by hand.
Right on.
Toroitsu. So extant or historical anarchist domains of control. By the way, I like how you speak. They're just interested in a particular, if there's a particular employed flavor that my name is Kai. Hi, welcome. That they're supportive of. In fact, there is no particular one. In fact, as an educator and sort of, coming from a historical perspective on anarchism, but also as a pragmatic modernist, I recognize that there are problems with a whole host of them. Kospaya is probably my favorite, even though it may be one of the smallest ones. The Anarchistic Republic of Kospaya, will always have a special place in my heart as far as that goes. As far as extant examples go, though it is not explicitly an anarchistically controlled space, Puerto Real in Spain definitely has an anarcho-syndicalist controlled, meaning ports, trade. They're moving into education, environmental, and health policy as well. Trumbullplex outside of Detroit, Michigan, is an anarchistic space. They have living, they have a theater, they have art spaces, they have a library, that sort of thing, and they manage to interface successfully with a capitalist society surrounding them, that sort of thing. The Stranza in Bulgaria, Shinmin, which is the Korean Anarchist Communist Federation, also needs like a mad shout out as well. Whitehall in the UK, but despite him being a highly problematic figure, I do like Hakeem Bey's temporary autonomous zones as a sort of a model for introducing people into anarchistic spaces and operating modalities. Because I think fundamentally first people need to come to grasp with how these spaces operate before you establish some sort of Kaiser, shout out Grandma Kaiser's homeland. Yes, I am. I do think that people need an introduction or sort of an introductory course, because the fact of the matter is most people don't learn via theory, they learn by experiencing, and so TAZs are definitely a solid methodology for introducing people into these sort of methodologies or methods of thinking, shall we say. So there's some of my favorites. I mean, you could Zomia, 100 million people, that sort of thing. But yeah, there's some of the ones that I like to reference on a regular basis. But any other questions? And as for my particular methodology as an anarchist, I'm a post-left, post-anarchist who advocates for a thing called the Thucydidean incrementalism, which is the componentized or modularized modularized interpretation of society, and then an iterative means of changing out in systems within that society. Thoughts on insurrection and mutual aid building in the hinterlands versus metropolis, both left and right. I think insurrection doesn't work in a developed Western society in the way that most, at least most like radicals would talk about. Like, I don't think insurrection is a viable praxis. It just,
or really,
yeah. I think insurrection can work in the global South. I do. I think that that's the space in which it can work. I don't think in the global North it can work. Just due to a variety of socioeconomic and definitely police and military industrial complex factors. I think when you take the weight of the system into account, I don't think insurrection works in the global North. But I do think it has potential in the global South. But again, I would never advocate for it directly for, terms of service and legal reasons. Mutual aid building, though, I definitely do think that mutual aid networks should be, a thing that community organizing is a thing that anarchists should be always doing in the back, like on the back burner. I think education. This is anarchists' first and foremost responsibility in society. After that, right behind that, is the sort of community organizing, activism, direct action line. So, welcome, and thanks for the intelligent, well-formed, pointed questions. I appreciate them. Whiskey, did you have any other stuff that you wanted to get into?
I was curious, like, if today we were to start the process of transitioning to an anarchist society in the Americas or in Canada, how does personal property work? Like, transitioning from the old to the new.
Personal property doesn't get affected in most anarchistic systems. It's private property that becomes the point of contention. Personal property is basically just personal property. Most anarchist theories account for and operate personal property the same way that it operates today.
Does personal property involve land ownership, or is that
generally no? Generally, land ownership is a use it or lose it scenario. Under anarchist theories, there's variety. It's a couple of different varieties, but the predominant or prevailing theory within most anarchist spaces is that occupation and usage is what grants you access.
Right. So if you're a massive landowner, there has to be a transition period where, like, the government would have to acquire that landowner's land to be available for use.
Yeah.
Right on.
Yeah, like Ted Turner's ranches and shit like that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I have 150,000 square acres. How much of that are you actually using?
Okay, I get it. Yeah. So like massive land ownership is then conglomerated into, like, more or less, I don't want to say free use, but fair use kind of deal.
Yeah. It would, can automod ban an emoji? I don't know, can it? I'll look into it though.
I'm sure it can, actually.
Nah. I mean, I could probably program the bot to do it.
Do we have like an unironic tanky defender in chat?
But yeah, no, there definitely would be. There would be a communal conversation about that.
Okay. And then, like, that transition period between the current democracy/capitalism society that we live in, how long would you say that would take to maybe possibly transition to a somewhat anarchist/socialist?
3 generations. First generation starts the process. Second generation is born into it and grows accustomed to it. Third generation knows it as its norm.
Right on.
And may I also pipe in here real quick?
By all means.
With the point of factor that land back and UNDRIP could possibly, and very much so, speed that process up. Just saying.
There's not enough.
I'm sorry.
Well, okay, so land back is an indigenous movement to reclaim some of the colonized land for the indigenous peoples. But I mean, here's the harsh truth, Sue. I'm not even going to say that you're not going to get the land back. Let's posit a theoretical world in which you do get the land back. There's not enough indigenous people to make that like radical difference, right? Like, we depopulated you colonially to the point where we're talking about, we still would have the same process of the first generation of settlers having to become accustomed to it, the second generation being born into it, and the third knowing it as a norm for the majority of the people. That's the sad truth of the matter, is you're the vast minority.
I kind of have to disagree because I know a lot about the production of reducing our numbers on paper. rather
I mean,
than
like,
fact.
well,
But
let's like, cut to the chase then. Like, what's the real number then?
to be the exact real number, we're not entirely true, but we do know it's a lot more than what's being stated.
Right. What I'm saying is like, give us a ballpark. Let's start like theorizing here. Like
Well, being that most indigenous families have anywhere from 4 to 12 kids, I'd say we may not be back to our original numbers pre-colonization, but we are working on that. And I'd say we're a lot more than 5% of the population.
Well, but that's only 5%. I mean, you're talking
it's
about.
a lot.
It's a lot. It's a few million, but you're up against like 330 million.
Right. And we're also talking about people that are like spread around like various sections of the country. Like it's not like a mass like collectively together.
But again, we're not talking about your society, right? We're not talking about land back and then 5 million indigenous people figure their shit out. The hypothetical put forward by Whiskey is, what if we moved forward as a society? That means we have to account for those other 325 million people, not just the indigenous people.
And please don't take what I'm saying as just the indigenous people, because we still believe and follow and respect the original forms of the treaty, which was that we would share this land equally and beneficially with
well, again, I'm just saying that you're still going to have 325 million people whose brains are broken.
Yeah.
Right. Like, even if I allow for a hypothetical where the 5 million indigenous people have perfect, recall of their societal and cultural norms, and land back will be an instant change for them, you still have 325 million people who have to go through the process of basically immigration. What we're talking about is the same sort of thing that happens to a person when they emigrate to a new nation. And so the first generation never truly integrates into society. The second generation becomes, speaks the language, but they usually are dual language speakers. They're bilingual. And then the third generation, they basically forget their native tongue entirely, and they are, for all intents and purposes, native of that nation. And so that's sort of the process that we're looking at here, hypothetically, if we went forward as a society with some sort of anarchistic plan, is we'd have to forget, we would have to have generational amnesia for the before times, as it were. Lady over Stegan, and hey there, Sal. Fucking now that I know who you are. Golf. Oh, fuck golf. I don't know where that came out of, but fucking, Kvass. Yeah, fuck golf. That's we can get some land back from that shit. Fucking.
Considering most of those golf clubs are built on indigenous burial grounds.
Fucking
seriously,
dude.
Quite seriously.
Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, it's just a bunch of racist fucking white businessmen fucking doing crony capitalism behind the scenes anyway. It's a waste of water, resources, space. Fucking reclaim the golf courses. You want to fucking fight for something? Start there.
What do you think Oak is all about?
Okay, Stegan, there is actually like a contingent of anarchists that don't believe in human rights because like that's like in the weird like individualist like camp, and I mean like the weird ones, the weird ones are the ones that like are basically like the reason why we shouldn't capitulate to the idea of human rights is because it implies that these are things that shouldn't be afforded to humans, like like it's weird shit.
I mean, legitimately.
Yeah.
Legitimately, brass tacks, human rights don't exist.
Yeah, I mean that's
we made them up.
Like, human rights is a construct that we've come up with, essentially.
And given the fact that they are a human construct, allows for broad interpretation, because let's face it, that's how our fucking, like, you know, how the empires did people like Sue's people dirty. It's because they weren't human. Human rights didn't apply to them. Land ownership couldn't apply to them because they weren't people. Right?
Right.
Like,
so if you want to reduce that down to human rights don't exist, you can, but that's like stupidly over reductive.
I think they should be a thing. I think that the construct of human rights is a halfway decent idea. It's just poorly applied, or selectively applied, or maliciously applied. I think it's a decent idea, but we have to recognize as realists that it is an idea. And
Anti-anarchists somewhat sympathetic to Marx may have a critique of Hegel's theory of rights too. Oh yeah, 100%. Like, especially in that individuals camp that I was talking about before, like like Max Stirner specifically, like, had a fuckload to say about Hegel. He was part of like the young Hegelians who basically just said, yeah, fuck Hegel, we're out of here. And, you know, he fucking went his own like way and started like critiquing like the Hegelian dialectic as a whole. It was so influential, actually, that like Marx and Bakunin and the people who stayed loyal to Hegelian dialectics basically said, like, yeah, the dude's right, but he's kind of like being kind of a dick about it, and we don't really want to address it anyways. So, you know,
that's Stirner in a nutshell. Yeah, he's right, but he's kind of a dick. So we're gonna be over here. Fucking Stirner wasn't wrong on a shit ton of stuff. It's just Stirner was a fucking sociopath.
Yes. I mean, you can be a Hegelian. Like, that is like a valid philosophical position. It's just kind of strange.
Yeah, exactly, public. That was the basically gist of it, is we made it up. It's a decent idea, but we made it up, and there's problems with stuff that we make up.
So if people choose measurements and people fail on those measurements?
Yeah. That's
brass tack. Yeah. So is it valid to say that like if somebody says like human rights don't exist, that's like kind of that's a valid like philosophical statement. It just needs to be clarified, and it needs to be like followed up with a bunch of presuppositions after that. Hegelian socialist. Okay, so they're like a Zizek fan. Okay, cool.
Oh, and by the way, it just dawned on me. Guess who didn't show up?
Oh yeah,
of course.
Oh yeah,
like I said,
basically, like go ahead.
Oh, 90% of them are always cowards. Anyway, continue.
Yeah, well, what I was gonna say, so basically whenever an authoritarian says human rights don't exist, they're not coming from the same like place as like the anarchists who are saying human rights don't exist. It's a very, very different fucking like grounds.
Yeah, anarchists are usually coming from the pragmatic realist approach of, you know, a philosophical, actually it wouldn't even be philosophical, it would be like a meta-ethical position. That, you know, yeah, it's a construct and we created it, but yeah, an off-lefter who talks about human rights don't exist, let's just say put your back against the wall and maybe watch out, get ready.
Yeah, basically like off-coms that are saying like human rights don't exist are basically people just trying to like justify labor camps because like the material conditions will change, so they'll be better for it anyways, so like get fucked.
Okay, buddy. Whiskey.
You know? You're just, you know, you're gonna have to deal with like asbestos-filled lungs, so like your grandchild can like not deal with them or something or other to that effect.
Astamite, I believe it was off, as in authoritarian.
Yeah, like authoritarian off. I have that off. Problem. I mix up my F and TH. Overbite problems, my voice. Yeah. So off-com as an authoritarian.
Yeah, communist. Well, off-com is the British version of the what would it be over here? Oh Jesus, it's just slipping my mind. It's the Television and Radio Communications Regulatory Agency.
Straight, FTC. I used to agree with you, and then it's just like I don't know anymore.
Oh, FCC. It would be the FCC over here. Sorry, not the FTC, but Ofcom would be the British FCC.
Gotcha. Oh, Dr. Heem just went live. You could rate him. He's cool people. When you plant, fuck, I should have said that. I like Heem. Heem's cool people. Frankly, I just don't have as much hate for like Sockdoms as like the rest of the left seems to have.
As far as I'm concerned, if you're not an authoritarian, like top level, I don't give a shit. Like, I'll work with you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Jesus Christ.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was saying. Guillotine. Is it guillotine or guillotine?
It's guillotine.
Okay.
What in the fuck?
It has a glorious beard.
Depends on where you are in the world and the pronunciation of it.
That is true.
See,
I mean, if you're in the United States, it would be guillotine.
Cool. So what's
It would be almost identical, except it would be what you had first stated.
well, I mean, that's the thing is that most people would be able to identify it either way, so you know, it doesn't really matter.
all right.
Yeah.
I don't inherently hate people, but I say something that pisses everyone off, then I am number one on PasadaBot. You know that means you gotta tell us what that is, right, Quas? Like you gotta tell us, cause come on, what is it? What is it?
I mean, you know, I don't run PasadaBot, so you're safe. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
All right, Whiskey.
Chill here. I don't think people who put pineapple on pizza deserve human rights. Well, you know what?
Oh, all right. Well, all I'm saying is if you cook your steak well done, shit happens, and I'm not going to be fighting for you.
Right.
Yeah. True.
You know?
That's fair. Okay, wait. There are exceptions, of course, though, right?
No.
There's never exceptions.
No.
Yeah.
No, there's no reason to cook a good steak well done. No, there's no reason.
It should be medium rare.
At most.
If it doesn't move, I'm not interested.
Yeah, I'm one of those. I'm like, look, I'll up to medium rare, we're cool. But for my personal taste, yeah, basically just hold the steak and look at fire.
Okay, Quas, I can see why PasadaBot would just like eliminate you for that.
Oh,
if
wait.
that's like the stance.
Wait, what did they say?
The pineapple and pizza thing is fine, but know that I will eat the pineapple first before the rest of the pizza. That is high tier degeneracy.
Do you have a choice? It's kind of together.
That's what,
I
no,
love
he's,
these.
like,
I love these
individually
people.
picking
These are,
pineapple off the pizza. This fucking
this is
caveman
this is my
motherfucker.
my favorite take. This is legitimately my favorite take. Dominance hierarchy exists in both animal and human social constructs. How does anarchist behavior upend generations of behavior? Were you aware? I don't know. Were you aware that generations of human beings were not intended to fly either? But we do that on a daily basis now. Just FYI, we're not actually meant to be able to communicate halfway across the globe with our voice. That's sort of a human limitation that we overcame as well. One of the crazy things is that it's not survivable for a human being at the bottom of the ocean, and yet we can do that too. See, this is the crazy thing about human beings. We're capable of transcending our biological limitations due to our critical thinking and intellectual capabilities. Wacky, I know.
The premarital, we're in the same boat. Because we grew up in cultures where the fucking meat, we couldn't quite trust it to be medium rare.
Like, if I'm sitting there and the fat is unchewable and it's not like just melts in your mouth.
Oh no, okay. Oh, no, let me put it like
cupcake?
this, because the thing is that like in like most of Latin America, a lot of meat can just have a lot of parasites and shit. Just fucking like rule the land in a lot of those places, especially in like the poor areas. So like a lot of our dishes are basically just chop up meat real nice and small and just crisp the shit out of it.
That's fine. We're talking
Yeah.
steaks.
Right. Well, what I'm saying is that so a lot of steaks are just sliced thin and then just just
Well, again, that's
cooked.
that's not really a steak at that point, as far as I'm concerned.
Well, you can.
I'm-
We're stretching definition.
I'm willing to allow for
Carne asada and shit is fine then.
yeah. I'm perfectly fine with that. But if you got a fucking chunk of meat and that sort of thing, that's
Good.
yeah.
I think
don't
it
need to
become.
carry
If you slice it that thin and you burn it as like barbacoa. No.
No, barbacoa is traditionally done over slatted wood with large, like plantain, banana leaves, something along those lines. So it varies, palm leaves. You cover it and you cook it over green woods, so it smokes up. And so, yeah, that's barbacoa, which is the root term for the North American word barbecue.
Yeah.
Right on.
No, well, we got our first tanky in chat.
Wait,
Public loser wants to put pineapple on pizza eaters and re-education camps.
Oh,
That was only a matter of time.
Where is that? There it is. It's like, where'd it go?
Callie, the point is that like political systems make us do shit that's unnatural all the time. Consent, fucking like not being racist, putting on fucking suits for like business meetings. These are all things that aren't natural. Like we're not like built to do that shit. Like it's like there isn't like a suit and tie gene in the human genome. We just
You're not meant to sleep 8 hours a night and get up and go to a wage slave job either. In fact, your sleep pattern is biologically polyphasic, and your circadian rhythm trends more towards 26.4 or something like that hours rather than a 24-hour cycle. Society and capitalism and fucking just society forces you to do all sorts of things that aren't natural to you anyway. And you don't question them, do you?
Is there cicadas?
Yes.
Kinda.
I'm gonna derail you, so wait for my chance.
Go for it.
Go for it.
I don't know if you're aware of. Sorry. I'll start by saying I listened to a conversation you've had a couple of weeks ago about pirate
Yes.
society.
Gotcha.
And now serendipitously, there's been a Netflix documentary about pirate society. And then how would you rate that about how close they got it?
I haven't seen it, so I can't.
Oh, it's on Netflix.
Neither. I can't comment on this.
Yeah. Having not seen it, my opinion is I don't know.
Right on.
Yes, Straya. No, I want all hierarchies abolished. Fish in the oceans aren't getting off easy. I'm not forgetting about them.
Ask him, does that mean I can sleep for 17 years and then come out only to breed and die? Hypothetically, you could.
Based.
We'd need like some super advanced like medical tech to do it, but we could pull it off.
Yeah. Theoretically, it's doable.
Yeah, like just like hook up an IV, like multiple IV drips, have you monitored and shit. Yeah. Medically induced coma, that shit. Done.
Sal says she's ANCOM. Can we keep her? As long as you have the Ann, I'm okay with you.
I don't know enough about Sal. I watched like one stream and like I had a chat argument with her like on Dr. Heem's channel, so shit, it was okay.
Let's see. Oh, that's what I wanted to know. I was like, where's the fucking tab? Jesus Christ. Alright, cool. I was trolling just with the fact that the alpha. Oh, yeah, the alpha wolf theory has been long fucking debunked. And that poor scientist spent the rest of his goddamn career basically fighting against it.
Funny how it just stuck.
Yeah. Well, then, congratulations. You've answered your own question. how do you not grasp that we can strive for better, that we can strive for change despite any naturalistic inclinations or despite society being forced to do otherwise? Right? Like, I think based on that couple of sentences, few sentences, you would understand then what advocating for a system that embraces individual autonomy, that rejects coercion and oppression, that rejects unjust hierarchies. I think that you would see that as a noble goal, maybe. But
Yeah, like that. There's no way around the fact that it is just gonna have to be a generational thing.
yeah,
We don't just poof into it.
I would like to try and get that generational thing moving as quickly as possible.
Right.
that's what we're trying for, Sue.
So
What we're trying for.
doing right now.
I don't know about you all, but like, seriously,
Yeah.
I got 3 grandkids, and I don't need them being an adult living in this shit society we have today.
Yeah. Well, luckily I'm not fucking having kids, so you know.
Me neither.
That's not a thing I have to worry about, but I feel you. I'm on team people. I'm on team
I'm-
people.
I'm
I
My
want us
plan
to
is
keep
get
going.
Snip and just juice up. Just say fuck it. I'm just going full hedonism.
Nice.
I'm with it, bro.
All right.
I'm fuck.
So here's what's about to happen.
We're about to raid.
Yeah, Dr. Heemdo. He's good people. Promise.
Anyway, it has been productive. It has been weird. It has been unproductive. It has been weird. Night shows are always interesting.
Yep.
Yeah, night shows are always interesting. But either way, thanks for hanging out. Insert standard spiel here, kaisthings.com, 5 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 5:30 p.m., Tuesday, Thursday, 11:30 p.m. Yes, we shall miss you, Bishop. Fucking, as always, Cat, Sue, Whiskey, Swamp. Was there anybody else who hung out on The Voice? Either way, thanks for hanging out on Voice.
Thanks for having me.
No problem.
Public, thank you for the gift sub. Trading it back. I gifted one on Public's channel earlier. Thank you kindly, Public. I will see you another night, Public. Take care, everyone. Till next time.
See you, everyone.
All right.